What's happening, everybody? We're back. The squad is back. No Cooldown, episode 84. We thank you so much for tuning in, for, you know what I'm saying, clicking on the damn video, audio file, wherever you're finding this right now. We appreciate you, and welcome back into the show. Of course, I am ThatManTripp. It's a wonderful day. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, man. It's time. It's time to talk again. And from what's been an exciting week so far, and what we got on the show notes, has been a lot to cover and get through. And of course, I got my podcast partner in crime with me, WenEazy, the porter. He's in the building. What's happening?
Man, today's a good day. Yesterday was a great day. Today's a good day.
he has ample reason to be happy this time around, man. We didn't spoil him, but his dreams came true. Like, he went to Disneyland and all that stuff. But that's hilarious. We'll get into all that stuff later. Definitely just want to say, make sure you go check out the podcast on all platforms and rate us 5 stars. Again, just type in No Cooldown Podcast. We should be the first one that pops up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Rate us 5 stars. Share the podcast. Like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Share us around on the social channels as well. We're at TikTok. It's a TikTok, Instagram. What's it called? What's the other one? Twitter. Not X. No Cooldown Pod and No Cooldown Podcast on everything else except for Twitter. Just find us there. And yeah, man, we rolling out. We got a really, really cool episode to get into. With that being said, when you want to get right into it?
Absolutely.
Hey, all right, let's do it. So we wanted to kind of switch up the flow. We had something very, very, very special for this episode. And, we were excited to kind of like finally get to it. So here it is, damn it. Here it is. Wen and I, over the past week or so, we had the privilege, to get some early access and early conversation on the Tales of Kenzera demo. Yes, Tales of Kenzera Zao. Again, that hot game that popped out at the Game Awards late last year. That has a demo coming up for Stream Next Fest. And as a part of that rollout, we had a chance to get the demo early and speak with the team at Studios and really just get some semblance of more information, context behind their process, what they've been kind of looking at, their direction, the choices they made in the development, as well as try the game for ourselves and give our impressions. So we wanted to start the show and start this with just a kind of a quick retelling of what we found out from the questions that we asked, and then again our impressions of what we played from the demo, because I had a couple playthroughs. I don't know about you, I did it a couple times. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that was a really fun demo. It was actually when it ended, I was like, normally when I get to an end of a demo, I'm like, kind of like, all right, whatever, like I'm done. When I got to the end of that demo, I was like, damn, I was kind of hoping there was at least a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Just a smidge. I wanted to keep playing. Yeah,
honestly, I was like, man, let me get back up there. We just crossed, man. Like, y'all see it when y'all play it, but we will have the footage up in the background as well, just to show you guys and contextualize what we're saying. But before we get into our impressions, we definitely want to run through the information that we found. From a rough standpoint, we kind of basically asked 5 different questions, covered a couple different topic areas, and we got our responses from, of course, the founder of certain studios, Abu Salim. You guys might know him from Raised by Wolves. Again, he was Bayek of C1 in Assassin's Creed Origins. Again, really, really dope dude. We had a chance to sit down and talk, and he just, again, relayed the vision, a lot of the choices and the inspirations behind the game. And we had a couple of different things here. We wanted to know first about the cultural background. If you guys are, have seen the game or looking at the game and its rollout, it is heavily inspired and heavily rooted in, the Bantu cultures in Africa, a lot of different lore and mythology that comes from that area. And we just wanted to ask kind of what the process was for pulling all of that together, because there's a lot of listen, if you ain't googling it, Google it. There's like 500 different language groups. There's across like 22 or 23 different countries. It's so much depth, and there's like so many variations of what people see. It isn't just like a homogenous zone. It's so varied in what they offer. So I'm like, how do you find the needles in the haystack with all this stuff? And that's what we asked first. And Abu provided his response and kind of said it's basically rooted in intuition, how he saw certain cultural entities from his view, for him, from his perspective, from a main character that's in the game, Kalunga, he sees him as the god of death, a person, like a god, but also as a place. So and that kind of rooted a lot of his, you know, his choices and the research that he wanted to get into from his own personal view and how he saw, you know, the stories from, you know, his childhood, his upbringing, and what he knew of. And beyond that, kind of looking at the selection process for all the mythos. You know, he said at the beginning, the game, you know, was of course very different, as most games are in their initial stages. They're going to be very, very different to what their final product is. And to help guide the process, he kept asking himself, how do we want to properly convey, you know, that feeling of grief, that focus on the journey of grief and how to best illustrate that to the players. And then from there, pretty much things lined up like an orchestra for, you know, for Abu and the team. You know, it's kind of picking the right monsters, the right enemies, the right settings, the right, you know, depictions of several elements of this, you know, entire project. And that really came together to kind of tell the story and showcase the culture, which is two big things that, you know, they wanted to achieve. So that cultural question was, you know, answered for us. I was like, that's dope, because there's so many cool things like the Impundalu. Again, Kalunga itself, you've seen from the trailers and what you'll see from the demo as well, just has the different forms. That was so cool to get answered. So that was dope. Next, I believe Wen asked Abu, you know, kind of looking back to his first kind of unveiling of the game at the Game Awards 2023. He mentioned, you know, games like Golden Sun and Kingdom Hearts, you know what I'm saying, which I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah,
that's a good game. That's a good influence. I
was flexing on the behind the screen when the Game Awards popped. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He got his hand in the right spot. That's what we like to see. But and we kind of asked him how those influences behind those games, kind of what did he want to take from those essences and translate them into Tales of Kenzera. And, you know, he cited, of course, Kingdom Hearts and Sora's journey as a big influence, and how he was, you know, pretty much thrust into a new situation and kept pushing through for his friends, and had, you know, these perspective shifting moments in his story, you know, just going through immediate loss and still pressing on, and you know, having, you know, meeting new friends, meeting new people, and having new supports through a lot of different adversity. And he wanted to capture at least some of that essence from mainly a story perspective, to, you know, give that depth to a character. And, you know, of course, he mentioned we had a little moment where it was like kind of realizing Sora's like one of the first like representations of, you know, more, I guess, emotionally tapped in characters from a male standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. From a masculine standpoint, like, yo, we can feel too. And that was actually really like, that's interesting, because I never really thought about it that way. You know, like at least when I was younger, I never like, I was like, yo, Sora's cool as shit talking about friends, but like he really went through such a gamut of emotions and so much of a journey of, you know, loss. So I can see some of the parallels that were kind of drawn there, which was really, really cool. Honestly, that was really dope to see.
Yeah. Even like when I was playing the demo, like when the first screen hit, I was like,
bro,
oh yeah, no, he really loves Kingdom Hearts. I was like, this is good, like this is beautiful. But I was like, oh, that was I saw it, and I was like, this is
goosebumps.
I was like, if I made a game and I was using that as my reference, it would absolutely be. It would absolutely look the same way.
Yes.
I knew I was playing a game by a Kingdom Hearts fan, and like. It all makes sense, and it was really beautiful, because like that was a perspective I didn't even think about either. Because like when you're young and you're playing Kingdom Hearts, you're not really like focused on the fact that like Sora is like, I think at one point in the first game Sora cries.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, I can't remember if I'm right or wrong, but I remember like that is kind of unheard of in like a protagonist at the time. You're like, you play Ratchet and Clank, nobody's crying. You can play like Kratos would have never shed a tear back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many games like didn't have that like little, just being even just a smidge emotional, or just showing your emotions that wasn't like kill or cool. And it was beautiful to see in Kingdom Hearts, and it's beautiful to see in this game, because you could really feel like the pain in the main character's voice. You could really feel like, even in the beginning when he's talking to Kalunga, I remember like feeling the tone shift halfway through the demo. And at first I was like, that's so weird. I kind of felt like it was a little awkward. But when I think about it, you're trying to convince somebody to help you. And now that they're on your side, the true colors start to show. And you don't, and it's funny to say this, once the masks went on, his mask kind of came off. Not trying to be like,
that's a Bardo. That's a Bardo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not an
that's-
English teacher. I'm not an English teacher. But...
That's facts though. There was so much symbolism in this stuff, and then again, we can weave it in and stuff like that, and talk about it when we get like raw impressions and stuff. But you hit it on the head. There's a lot of that, that weaving and just deep seated, from an emotional perspective, from a characterization perspective. I see a lot of that, again, drawn from Kingdom Hearts. And if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, I think you're gonna have a nice vibe in your heart, you know what I'm saying, with this kind of stuff, and with what was displayed in the demo. So that was cool. Where are we at next? So on another side, we definitely talked about, kind of the theme and the main theme of the game, which is that journey of grief. And, as we all know in the gaming industry, that's been pretty much depicted before, but it's been mainly through the lens of, revenge and vengeance, rage, anger, sadness. Most of those emotions were kind of at the forefront, and there wasn't really time or space for much else. You guys think of Mafia 3, the original God of War trilogy. What else was up there? I'm trying to remember, but there's
all of God of War. No, you said God of War. You said God of War.
Yeah. The first 3 God of Wars. There was a couple more that I
Max Payne. I feel like was also
Max Payne. Yeah, Max Payne. Oh,
I think almost every game at this point was a form of vengeance.
Yeah, Splinter Cell Conviction as well. I remember mentioning, and then Assassin's Creed Origins for a lot of it, for a good portion for that was just centered around, people thought just revenge. But we heard a lot about sticking true and giving an honest depiction of, again, that journey of grief, and showing that there's more faces to it. There's more, it manifests itself in a lot of different ways, and the development itself has kind of been focused on how do we convey it through almost every thread of gameplay and presentation that we have. So again, the Metroidvania style itself, again, Abu said, was really a big representation and symbol for kind of like the non-linearity of grief, and just giving people kind of that direct view of, grief just doesn't travel in the same way as everybody. The map, you can kind of go backwards, you can go up, you can think you're making progress but fall, and there's a lot of different facets that kind of get represented in that way. So Metro, the style itself of the game, kind of being that journey of grief, or being one face of it, is very, very cool. And beyond that, just thinking about it from my perspective, I thought of it from his response as kind of like a kaleidoscope of grief, because a lot of the dialogue with Kalunga throughout the demo, it wasn't, it wasn't all doom and gloom. You know what I'm saying? It was, he was getting challenged. They were laughing. They were throwing jokes out. He was being kind of critical of certain people who came before him a little bit. There was a lot of different things. Impatience. There were so many different, emotions that were really on full display with it. And, it was cool to mention, again, he kind of leaned into some of his interpretations of Bayek of Siwa from, again, Assassin's Creed Origins, and his performance in that game. As he said, kind of the initial draft of the character was a lot more, cold, a bit more selfish, especially when dealing with children in that way. And then he saw it as something to be, he's gonna definitely, Bayek of Siwa would cherish and enjoy the moments that he has with children, and be patient and kind to them, and as kind of a representation honoring, his lost son. And that kind of flip on the character is something that he wanted to tap back into, not bar for bar exactly, but just that the humanization of that journey of grief, and making it relatable to everybody, because everybody's gonna have a different emotion when processing, grief, which is that main theme of the game. Yeah, and then we had to switch gears a little bit. We talked about the music. The music we heard was going to be a banger. I'm pretty sure I saw a couple articles about this prior, and definitely wanted to double confirm just what the thought process was. And we asked just, like, how does he even see it? How do they all even see it? And then they got a dope team out there. They got a lot of different instrumentalists. Again, the Black Panther choir is a part of this, which I heard that. I was like, son, listen, I put up the X real quick out of impulse, man. I was like, oh shit, it's my fault. It's my fault. That's fire. But kind of the direction behind it, Abu said that, basically he wanted to have a clash of time with the music, and have that major clash between different feels of maybe a slightly futuristic and a slightly classical whimsical, you know what I'm saying, from again, just a cultural standpoint, just how that feels, and also some pockets where they mesh and blend across the game. And just thinking about how the music itself might capture the roles of, again, the two main characters who are in the game. One of them is, again, somebody who's kind of seeing the story back and experiencing the story from a farther perspective into Barry, and the other one is Zhao himself, who you're going to be playing as in the game. And it was a cool thing to kind of hear him also mention, like Miles Morales, how, there's this big pillar of the Spider-Man music. You know how it feels. You know what it is. It's kind of the heroic justice, the very, again, major key, major chord type of thing. But then there's also, again, Miles Morales himself and how to blend his sound with, his cultural background and where he's from, in New York, and just creating that mesh in the music, which is dope. I loved hearing about that, because the music gets a very, 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 I feel like it's still underrated for some reason. Still underrated. You know what I mean? Like, because it can make or break a lot of different games. I think especially in games where the loop of presentation and stuff is this focused. Like, everything has to be very much present. All the elements have to be in full flow, because if one's missing, I feel like there's gonna be something that kind of draws you back from it. So I like that there was a lot of emphasis on the music that Abu provided, and he's been working through with his team. And the composer, and that sounded really dope. And I know the last one you definitely asked, always with the keen eye with the damn tabletop stuff. You saw, there was some D&D, there's some D&D connection going on, and you just wanted to ask, just what was kind of that inspiration that you take, that Abu took from tabletop games, and then bringing that into kind of the Tales of Kenzera mythos and the universe. What did he want to kind of take from that? And plain simple, Abu was basically saying just the ability to build a world and build a well-crafted, rich story. The ability to kind of do anything and go anywhere in tabletop games is very underrated, from his words and from you verifying it. When I know you got a lot of experience in the tabletop, the D&D side of things, but he said that, that background and that experience with tabletop and D&D stuff, that really kind of spoke to how the Tales of Kenzera universe was kind of created to capture, that feeling of a rich story and being able to do things and travel on your own accord in this game and beyond for the IP. So that was really cool to mention. And that's all the quotes and rough statements that we had from Abu Salim. Again, some really dope insights. I don't know if there's anything else that I missed from what we got from Abu, but for me, that was super insightful to help get some perspective on what we were going to get into for the game itself.
Yeah, and the thing too is that we were there for I want to say an hour, just getting information, talking about stuff, even so there may be a couple things that we might have missed, but it was a really, really dope experience to be able to speak on all the things that were going on in the game and having that insight behind it. If I would have known, if you would have told me, oh, this person, I open up the demo and I see the first splash screen, I would be like, oh, maybe they're a Kingdom Hearts fan, or I might not have even noticed it. But even just hearing them talk about how that game affected them really gives you a better perspective when talking about the game. I now know that this was this person plays D&D, so they know about world building. So one thing I'm not really gonna be afraid of is continuity being weird, or the world not having diversity or being uninteresting, because as somebody who's played D&D and somebody who knows how world building in that game works, it's really hard for me to see somebody be I learned how to world build through D&D and be oh, then the world's gonna be bland. I'm very much excited just hearing them talk about the culture and the effects, the music. I was happy to hear what they said about it, being we brought in so many different people, and you can hear it in the demo, and it was just probably one of the best ways to enjoy a game was being in that room and listening. And that's something that I'm going to try to incorporate more when I play these games, is trying to watch these type of interviews just to really get an understanding, so that when I'm listening to the music, I'm not just oh, they did a good job. It's more oh, no, they did an intentional job. They went in there with the intent of giving us the fullest experience possible for an indie game, because that is what it's an indie game. And it's honestly, I am so excited. I cannot wait to see this game come out on top of that, I cannot wait to see what else they plan to do. This is a studio to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, 100% from the outset, and we can just kind of segue right into just how we felt about the demo, bro. Just it's about like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long you want to stay in there, do some combos and stuff, and run around. Kind of took us through this kind of the opening section of the game itself, and there was a lot of like little odds and ends that I noticed. Again, for you, I guess we can start on the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself, how it felt, the mechanics, the platforming, all that stuff. How did you feel about just the gameplay loop that you were seeing?
So I am a huge fan of Metroid. I can't think of anybody who's like, man, I hate Metroidvania games, but I'm a big fan of it. I love the gameplay. The ranged attacks was probably my go-to. I definitely was more of a ranged fighter. The enemies were varied, and they also gave you like, I want to say like, and I don't know if this was intentional, if this was just a little bit of a bug. I feel like it was intentional though. There was like the smaller enemy that I remember like appeared throughout the demo that was different from the regular ones, and I remember like I knocked them up, which is like the ability with the melee class, or the melee mask I should say, and it didn't get knocked up as high as the other characters, and I was like, oh, this must be a bug because I can't really combo into this because they don't get knocked up high enough. And then I realized that if I did like a short hop, kind of like in Smash, I would be able to get the combo off, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool because like if the game progresses like this, it's gonna be making me kind of like learn how to play Smash Bros in a sense, and that's a really fun game to play. Like doing combos in that sense, like it was really interesting to see. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it was very interesting. The combat was deeper than what it seemed on the surface, because sometimes you get like a Metroidvania game and it's just like, hey, do this, up goes into this, it combos into this. But if this is the case, then you're gonna have to start changing, not just like, oh, I gotta use the blue stuff for people with blue shields. It's more like, oh, this person I can't air combo, so I gotta remember to short hop when I fight them. Like it's more, it's like making you have to change the way you fight, but less like it's intentional, but not as intentional as something like you need to use blue weapons to take down the blue shields. You know what I'm saying?
It's not just a masher.
Yeah, like you will actually have to think about the combos you're gonna do. You will actually have to like think about the course and how you want to approach certain situations, and even just switching back and forth between the abilities was really fun as well, because it neither felt too overpowered, and they both felt like if you wanted to, you could do all melee and it wouldn't be an issue, but you would lose out on being able to do the cool things like switching back and forth. And don't even get me started on when you unlocked the ice power. That shit was just like, it opened up a whole new can of worms.
Yeah. That's like, for me, again, the gameplay, I'm not as deep into the Metroidvania things, but I like Metroidvanias, you know what I'm saying? So it's still a learning curve for me to get used to, the movements, kind of where the enemies are spaced, how you operate in that zone. But actually, I've been playing two in the background. Well, one in the background for kind of a comparison over the past few weeks. I've been playing the last case of Benedict Fox, just as kind of like, not necessarily a benchmark on purpose, but I just playing because I wanted to finish. I was interested in that game last year, so I wanted to do it. And I think I'm not having my favorite time with that game, and there's like a couple of drawbacks in that game that I think are completely different and just better or solved or patched up in a game like this. Now, not to directly compare two games like that, but the feel in the combat is something that I look for a lot. And, I'm saying, we want to talk about some of the I guess the Kingdom Hearts are different gameplay feel, I'm saying, like kind of that weight in certain combat, you know what I mean, like the weight of certain things, like a punch behind it, the distinctness of certain modes and forms. I feel like this was also very much on display in Tales of Kenzera Zao. Like, again, the two styles were really, they complemented each other very, very well. I was sitting there and I don't, like, I feel like I don't usually give as much time as I need to for the combos, but I felt like from the rip, the introduction and the pacing of you getting the masks kind of automatically, like, it's putting you in a position of, hey, all right, cool, mix and match, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because some enemies was giving me some trouble my first playthrough. Like, I was like, okay, oh shit, all right, let me just not spam one. You know what I mean? And kind of get into mixing and matching. I was trying to figure out how I can, get the setup from the sun mask. Up him in the air, fire off like 7 shots from the blue mask, come back down. You know what I'm saying? If he's not dead, going for the kill. So I liked the variety of the gameplay that comes from the two masks. I liked The platforming again was pretty easy. I don't think I had any problems with the platforming whatsoever. I liked it. The dash mechanic was pretty smooth. I was kind of getting too overzealous with it sometimes. I was kind of over jumping some shit and running into some stuff in the underground section.
I was getting crushed all the time because I was like, oh, I could definitely dash through all this without waiting a second.
My dumb ass. I was humbled. because the obstacles got me like twice. I was like, all right, let me just walk through this. Let me walk through the fucking crushers. Let me just sit. Oh man, but yeah, no, I liked how everything felt, especially the enemy types. I felt like I wanted to see more of the heavies, but against a demo, so I'm not gonna like give them all the slack for not showing me more of the heavies. But I like the variety of them, of the enemy types that we saw. Again, like the trickster monkeys in the underground, and just some of the regular base kind of like grunts and stuff in the kind of like the overground, the jungle section. Cool. I really liked it, and the main thing for me was just the weight of the combat, the weight of the field, especially on the sun mask, and creating that contrast between that and the moon. So it was really, really cool. Beyond that, I think that what's it called? What was it? The distinct nature between the two masks was also cool. Also, one thing I do really, really like is it's a real split path, like variety in the gameplay, like and just how it aesthetically looks. You know what I'm saying? Like down to the core, how can you make that differentiation between, okay, this thing you have here is, you know what I'm saying, it's not the exact same. Make it feel distinct. And I feel like the aesthetics on a lot of the combat was really, really so. Especially between the Sun and Moon mask, I wanted to focus on here. It was. I don't know if you saw it, but in the jumping, even down to the jumping and the walking, it just felt it was different. And again, to kind of encapsulate what it was, kind of the sun was doing plies. It was doing like damn plies in the air, like a ballerina. Like it was dead ass a dance. And they said it in the demo itself again, like it was a fiery, passionate dance. You know what I'm saying, with grace and grace and fury. I can't remember off the top of my head, but again, like that kind of differentiation between the sun mask that again moves a little bit more with gracefully, a little bit of flair in it, you know what I'm saying, has that ballerina type dance, you know what I'm saying, in it flips like sideways like a Crash Bandicoot, and the moon mask kind of flips horizontally and dashes a little bit differently. I like the aesthetic, the aesthetic delineation of, hey, these are two different styles, you gotta mix and mash them, but they're gonna be two completely different sides of a coin. So I liked how it looked in presentation as I was kind of traversing the environments and stuff. So that was cool to me.
No, yeah, it was really beautiful to see. And I didn't even notice it until like I was more towards the end. I was like, wait a minute, is this like? I was like, oh wait, why? This is actually the animation for them for jumping is pretty sick. And like I didn't even like put two and two together until like I want to say halfway through. I was like, I didn't even notice because the whole time, I'm trying to jump dash.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to get like the most movement out of it. And then like I started like at one point I just started jumping and holding A just to see like the different animations. It was like really cool, man. It was super dope.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I like that. And on top of that, in the gameplay, they got the super moves. They dead ass put a whole Pokemon Hyper Beam in this. I'm sold. That was fire. Had to put a super in there. And then I tried to go on the second playthrough. I tried the other one. It was like a big ass supernova, which was dope as well. Like I like that there was a supers. Again, the healing looked pretty straightforward. Again, there wasn't really any major like bugs that I ran into in terms of gameplay. I think it was all pretty straightforward, honestly. I liked the pacing of how they introduced stuff in the beginning, and if that's going to be the same snippet that you get into the rest of the game, it was kind of that first 45 minutes. I liked how they did that. For me, again, I get attention spans are attention spans. People gonna forget some shit, but I feel like they mapped out and spaced out the opening section in a way to again easily explain what everything is and provide a lot of different just context for stuff, and maybe I think it stuck better in the opening section than other games that I've played. You know what I mean? I like that. And again, in my head, it's just the Benedict Fox example, and then this that I played was fairly stark, so where I feel like there was enough variety and just kind of high points in what we were learning in that first 45 minutes. But okay, cool. All right, keep this in mind. It wasn't like too much to bear. Whereas in the last case of Benedict Fox, I feel like there was a good amount of stuff that they don't tell you, which is fair. Again, it's a murder mystery. You know what I'm saying? You got to walk in and do your thing in that Metroidvania style. But I feel like there was just there was just a couple of things that I didn't pick up on as well, or wasn't as utilized as often. You know what I mean? I feel like you can just either run or shoot them the same way, or maybe parry a couple of times. But I feel like the gameplay and the spacing in last case of Benedict Focht, it didn't like, necessitate me like, switching up the variety. Maybe on some of the bosses a couple of times, but there was like one boss where I just did it the same way I did every enemy, you know what I'm saying, and just dodged the tentacles. But it just spoke to kind of some of the how differently Metroidvanias can kind of come packaged, of course, and I liked how it was paced in the beginning from Zhao. Let me see what else did I have in there outside of gameplay stuff. There was the only couple bugs that I saw were like in dialogue. Like you had to there's a couple prompts that were missed, but it's a demo, guys. Just be gentle, you know what I'm saying? It's a demo, so I'm pretty sure they're ironing that out in time. Outside of that, just kind of looking at the environment, the story, the music, all the other kind of things that float around and mesh with the gameplay. How'd you feel about that? That accompanying the gameplay for this snippet that we saw.
The music was awesome. Like I turned it up a little bit because I was like, wow, this is like
I did it too.
Really dope.
I turned everything else down. I kept that on the music at 100.
Because I felt like I didn't get to, not that it was mixed badly or anything. I just wanted to hear more of it. I was trying to focus solely on it, and it was honestly really, really dope because it felt like a Metroidvania game. It was weird. It's weird to describe, but I guess the best way I could describe it is like it felt like video game music with culture, because it very much had like the same kind of like tones that you're used to, the same kind of like tempo, but it was just like culturally rich. Like the drums, the sometimes you would hear like a voice come in, and I'm just like, oh man, like the whole time I was just having a ball. The music was amazing. The presentation is fucking stunning too.
Bro.
So like in combination with everything, it's just like this game has style. This game has a lot of style, and it's a beautiful style, truly. Like I can't really think of something that I would compare this to because it's just so unique in and of itself. But I love the music. It was absolutely a bunch of bops. Definitely something I would buy on vinyl. And if you know me, you know that I make sure to keep soundtracks that I love or games that I love. I always keep the vinyl. I always buy the vinyl for it. This is something that is definitely vinyl worthy.
Y'all heard that, Surgeon? We need that vinyl ASAP. Day one.
Absolutely.
Put it up.
Please. If you want to send a couple our way, I'd absolutely love to showcase it.
You know what I mean? Just tight shit. Something light. Oh man. But now, from my perspective, I'll speak on the perspective first in terms of kind of the set pieces, the camera, the colors, and how everything was everything popped. Everything felt really, really vibrant. You know what I'm saying? And I just liked how a lot of things were framed and set. I think the art style is very, very good. I liked, again, just the character models felt very, very just lively, just all over the place, just lively, distinct. You know what I'm saying? Looking at like when the little like dialogue boxes pop up between Kxngviii and Zhao, just even those little animations are dope. I just liked how everything flowed. I think the only major like it wasn't even a big thing. Only the major blip I think in terms of presentation is the camera. Sometimes when you platform fast or move around pretty fast, like I think there's a couple instances, maybe in the underground section if I'm remembering right, where like I dropped down really, really fast and the camera it took a second to follow up. It was like lagging behind just a little bit. That's the only thing I'd say in terms of the gameplay loop and the presentation that was maybe like just needs a little bit of a tweak to kind of stay on. But again, it's a demo, so just had to point it out and keep it pushing. But outside of that, there was just so much great rich like presentation in this. I loved it. Something in the environment that I think was pretty cool, that also related to kind of the main point of what I got from this demo and the experience with Zhao so far, was just, well, the word is efficiency, but I'll get back to that towards the end. But in the environment, there's waterfalls damn near everywhere. And I don't know if it's just me. Again, there's the waterfalls that you dash through physically, of course. You know what I'm saying? And those represent, you know what I'm saying, crossing the line. And, you know what I'm saying, that whole, I guess, relation and point of view to the Kxngviii line. And, you know what I'm saying, if you don't know what that is, please look that up, because I had to do it myself. And that's actually a really cool, like, again, cycle of life and death. But please tap into that further. But in the background environments. I feel like in almost every environment change, there's a waterfall to signify that you're going into a different place. Like when you're going from that first area of the jungle to the bridge, there's a waterfall in the background. That first area when you walk out of the again the sanctuary with the three stone heads with the three great the great spirits. There's a waterfall before you transition over there. Like that level of detail, I really, really like. It's so embedded into a lot of this, man. It's just those little touches, you know what I'm saying, that make it cool. Everything feels like a passageway that relates to the story. You know what I'm saying? It's interconnected, again, whether explicitly through the gameplay mechanics of dashing through those waterfalls or, implicitly with the waterfalls in the background. I just liked that there was this symmetry between, the story and the gameplay and the environment that was built behind it. There was a lot of really, really good. It was tightness. It was tightness to what we were looking at and seeing with the story, how it was unfolding, the dialogue, and what have you. And I liked how that was presented. But beyond that, the music is the music, son. When you open this menu. When you open this menu, if you're even if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, if you don't feel something, if you don't feel the need to pause, don't even touch your controller, your keyboard, none of that. Put it down. If you don't feel that, I don't know if you have love in your heart. I don't know. Honestly, I would be shocked at this point because that whole sequence, bro, just takes me back. Again, I don't want to feel like the douchebag that is saying like, oh, menus aren't the same anymore. Devs are lazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying all that, but it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? At all. If you have a good game, you have a good game. I'm not mad about anything extra, but you could just feel the artistry, the love, and the tone set from the music and from the visuals that dropped in that main menu. You feel like you need to stop and kind of pay homage a little bit because the experiences, you know what I'm saying? It just gave you that little bit of pause, like, oh shoot, take a deep breath, like we're here. Like I just like that. And again, it just felt so similar to Kingdom Hearts that I had to take a stop. I'm partial to that, of course. So I loved hearing that. And the music throughout was fantastic. Again, setting the scene, the transitions were really, really seamless between combat, again, just between different areas as well. Even like when you're searching through the menu, looking at your skills, the codex and all stuff like that, music just automatically muffles. You know what I'm saying? Just like those little things. Like it always is continuous, but it just shifts its shape in different formats. Again, just fit all what you're going through and experiencing in the game. And I like that a lot. I know we got a lot of the, as we said, that Abu kind of stated, that clash of time. We got a little bit of that in the underground section. I heard a little bit of like, like the hi-hats and stuff and like more like modern drums kind of come in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I heard a little like in the underground section, but I didn't hear a lot of it yet. I feel like they're teasing us a little bit and keeping it mostly traditional. But again, I still liked what I saw. I think we'll hear more of that as we get the full game. But Fire, I like what I saw in that. Yeah, outside of that, just looking at, I guess, the story and, how it played on the dialogue, the opening section, and any other thoughts with that. How did you feel about what you saw from that?
I feel like the story is going to be really, really interesting to see. I feel like it's going to be very passionate. The voice acting is phenomenal. Absolutely. You could feel all the emotions that they were trying to convey. I think that it's gonna be a very wild ride, especially because the presentation is so sharp.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes everything land really well. Like seeing that giant mask and being like, whoa, like what is this? And they're just like, these are the shrines that were built by the shamans and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am very much excited to see how all the other areas that we're going to explore, because if this one cave is as interesting, I can only imagine what the rest of the world is gonna feel like.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm very excited to see to just get the whole game. Like I can't wait to get my hands on it. The only thing that I was thinking, like that, because I didn't really experience too many bugs either.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I would have loved would be like maybe like an option to get like an out, like how like certain games will have like an outline of your character or like an outline of like something like that.
Some accessibility options, like
that. And it's not that it didn't have any, but it was just like that would have been nice. Because there's times where like sometimes the screen is a little cluttered, and you're like, oh, what's even going on? Like, what's even this? But like, I believe the monsters are highlighted in like white, or they just have like a white glow.
Yeah,
and
they'll have the bar over them.
Even if you could change like that to like a red or something.
Yeah,
but
that would be cool.
It's just a small little suggestion, even because I can't even really say that I was like blinded by all like by the visual clutter by any means. It was just more so like I think they would have been a little cool addition, but I am excited. I cannot wait to see what this game is going to shape out to be like. I can't wait to see the other areas, the other characters, and even just more exploring just like this story, really. Like will we get Baba back? We have no idea. We have absolutely no idea, and I can't wait to see.
Bro, it's kind of crazy. And one thing I will say, and I'll kind of get to this point towards the end, but I just like the seamless inclusion of kind of like, again, just the story beats and what the dialogue was between, again, Kalunga and Zhao. It helped me, be a little bit streamlined with what I was doing. Again, I'm just like, all right, cool. We don't have to put there wasn't no big ass marker that says go back to the surface. You know what I'm saying? Like 450 meters up this way. You know what I'm saying? At some point when we got down the underground section, we got what we came for. And he's like, there's a kind of this little tiff between him and Kalunga, where it's like, stay focused. He's like, I am focused. Go back to the surface. Go to the bridge. Go see the girl. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? I just like that. I feel like I don't notice it. I wasn't noticing things like that before, but I liked how that kind of came out to where there's seamless kind of checkpointing, you know what I'm saying, to a certain degree from the story. Be like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to tell you explicitly, take your ass back up top to the surface level. But in the story, it's going to tell you, oh, Zhao's got to go up. So, okay, cool. We'll go this way. I just liked how interwoven it was into the dialogue itself and not just, something else. But again, a lot of games do that. I just liked how it was presented here, and especially in Metroidvanias where, you know what I'm saying, like, it's your point to potentially get lost and go your own way. So I like that little reminder in the story, because I'm locked in on the story most, probably first and foremost, because it's a lot to process, a lot to get through in that opening stages. So I like that. Beyond that, generally, I like the story. I really liked, again, just that display of different emotions. We went through like a whole lot. We saw like 6 or 7 off the bat. You know what I mean? He was sad. He was angry. He was confused. He was, again, he was like a lot of different things. He was giddy, or he was laughing. He was humorous. Like there was a few different things that already happened in the first snippet where it was like, damn. Like he's already running through it. At some points, I feel like it just felt like this. It's a roller coaster, man. Again, grief is a roller coaster, and I feel like already we were seeing that first sign of like, bro, I'm just focused on what we doing. I know what I'm here for, and it's kind of like, it's nice to see that he displayed those emotions, but also Kalunga pushed back at him a lot with, what he was doing. He's like, are you ready? Are you doing this for yourself? Is this what your true intentions are? And I liked how the dialogue and the back and forth exposed a lot of different faces of Zhao's emotion and what Zhao was going through and what Zhao was processing in the game. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? A whole hell of a lot of that. My man Def was even careful. Def was like, damn, Zhao, what the hell you doing, bro? Like I thought you was ready. I thought you was not a boy and stuff. I just really liked how a lot of that came together too. So that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, real quick, final note on this before we move on to the next thing.
Very, very much excited. It's going to be a really good Metroidvania. I hope we get more games like this, and truly just kind of shows that this is a passion project, and it is very evident from like just the title screen. And I cannot wait to see more from this studio.
100. There was one word to really describe this. Well, there's a lot of words that you can't describe it with. A lot of great words, but I think one word that encapsulated a lot of what I felt in this was, I'm gonna go efficiency. I'm gonna go efficiency. You could say interconnectedness, but I think efficiency for me is more fitting. Again, given they're an indie studio, this is their first game. They're a small team. I don't want to put any, I'm saying, like favoritism or being partial to them or whatever, but just looking from what they built, I felt like there's no stone unturned and there's no empty space in this game. And I feel like from other Metroidvanias that I played in the past and other games that I played in the past in general, there's sometimes these empty spaces where, I feel like something could have been here. This could have been something extra added there. There are these things that happen in other games that I feel like they kind of detract from the full presentation of it, that I feel like from what I played in this first 45 minutes, it was rich, it was full. Again, from the music connecting to the story connecting to the gameplay connecting to the environment connecting to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all a loop, it's all a tight knit, just unit, just everything, man. Whether it be, the dialogue influencing the gameplay and keeping you on task with the objectives, whether it be the environment itself signifying, hey, we're going into a new area with the waterfalls, and you're just like, you're transitioning from this thing to that in the background. Whether it be the music itself, you know what I'm saying? Like taking a shift and turns to kind of show you a little bit more of the story and a little bit more of the background behind it. I was very impressed. I was very impressed by how polished this was and how efficient it was at conveying so many things in such in their first game and in such it's an indie package. It's an indie package. However you want to slice it right now, it's an indie package. But to me, this is coming out as such a very, very, very just impactful and efficient game. You know what I mean? I think that was one of the sticking points that they talked about as well. Kind of like using all the resources as effectively as possible and creating their story, representing Bantu cultures, and creating a fun game that people can walk away from with a really just rich experience and just walk away with something valuable. And I think from what I played so far, they're on track to do just that. So. Great job. Was it April 24th? Yeah. Time's ticking, buddy. Time's ticking. We need that. Sign the contract, baby. Sign the contract. We need that ASAP, man. So Tales of Kenzera, Zao, so far so good. And that's all we got for that, man. Again, huge shout out to the Surgent team. Again, just for all the love and, what I'm saying, inviting us to have that fireside chat and get some early access. We appreciate that. Definitely wanted to give our honest, what I'm saying, 2 takes on that, and that was cool. But we got a lot of stories to get through, so let's keep it pushing, man. That was chunky, man. But hope y'all enjoyed that one. Next up, we had some other news here. We got a new collab coming. And the Citadel boys have been called in as Destiny 2 is bringing Mass Effect Ghost Shells, Sparrow items, and more. And it's coming. It's coming to Destiny 2. It's going to be available to current Destiny 2 players for free on February 13th. You know what I'm saying? When, as a former enjoyer of Destiny and, you know what I'm saying, in your heart, eternal enjoyer of Mass Effect, how do you feel about this?
Oh, this is damage control. For sure. They're trying to win the people back. I think this last year was one of probably the worst years for Destiny, which is wild because they had a really big expansion release, but the layoffs and the people blaming the fans, when in reality, if you had a better fucking model for making money, it wouldn't be, the fans wouldn't have to bail you out for your bad decisions. The same way that the fucking developers are you use them to bail yourselves out when you guys don't have enough money. I like that. I think it's cool. I think to me it's a little too late. I'm not jumping back on Destiny right now. I don't even know if I don't even know if I'm gonna buy the DLC for the next expansion. And this 2022 when literally made a case to convince his friends to get into Destiny. And we were enjoying it. We were having fun. I even got some people to buy the expansions and shit. I told Ro, I was like, yo, no, get it. We can play games and da 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 da. And then once we got to the new stuff and I realized how impossible it was to continue to convince my friends to keep dropping money on this game to play shit, I was like, yeah, this is cooked. I can't, it's unsustainable. And unfortunately, I don't think they realize that. It's unsustainable to continue to try to make money the way you guys make money. So cool that they're dropping the Mass Effect collab. I'm really happy. I think the main reason it's free is because if they would have made this something you paid for, they'd have to split it. I think that's why it's free. It's because it's easier to make it free than it is to split the cost and all that. So I'm not really moved by this whatsoever.
Yeah. Mass Effect, yay. Destiny, aw. You know what I mean? When the dude is smiling and then they reveal the shocking truth of it and he just frowns. He's like, aw. That was literally my face. He was like, Mass Effect is Destiny. All right, bro, leave it. I'm good. Get that out of here. Yeah. The more you said it, again, I didn't care about Destiny this whole run. I haven't cared about Destiny since the first Moon DLC because I didn't pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I figured out what it was early and I got out of the game. You know what I mean? And so yeah. Now that you mention it, it does feel like a lot of damage control, man. Look like they trying to save some face before Lightfall or something like that. And they trying to, or was it Final Shape or Lightfall? I can't remember.
I think it's Final Shape.
Yeah, final shape. So good luck. Yeah, y'all gonna need it. But moving on here, I definitely had to save some time to talk about a few companies, and unfortunately it's not good news. But first, let's talk about one of the worst companies I've ever seen in the gaming space. Yes, they are. This is crazy. Embracer Group, yes, they're back in the news again, and almost every time you've heard me say that, outside of their founding, I don't think I've ever spoken about them in a positive tone. I don't think I ever will, unfortunately. They got some more layoffs, man. There's a bunch more layoffs, and they've impacted two things in specific. First and foremost, Embracer has cut half of the staff at Black Forest Games. Again, Black Forest Games, they're the team behind all the Destroy All Humans remakes that have happened over the past couple of years. And, you know, they're also the team that's going to be behind the TMNT Last Ronin game. So we had no word of what was going on with, you know, pre-development, development, what that might be. So a lot of stuff's in jeopardy because of that. First and foremost, your reaction when?
Fuck them. Not the devs, the Embracer Group. Like, you guys are awful people. I wish nothing but the worst for the people at the top. Oh man, I can't even say the things I wish for you guys. Yeah,
if I say what I think, I'll be suspended 6 months. That's all you need.
Exactly.
I'll get to the main point after this. This shit hurt. This shit hurt seeing this. Fuck.
It's a good concept.
Fuck.
It's an amazing concept. It's a money making concept, but it's given to fucking idiots. Like, not given to idiot. It is being
acquired by dumbasses.
Dumbasses are at the helm is what the problem is. And like, that seems like a very like common thing nowadays. It's just dumbasses at the helm.
Oh man. And also something that really hurt. There have been some layoffs at Eidos Montreal. About 20 slots, I think, was the rough number. But the kicker behind this was that the Embracer Group has actually officially canceled a Deus Ex video game that was actually good. It's been in development for 2 years and it was set to keep pushing through. So we were gonna get a new Deus Ex, but no, poof, it didn't happen. It's canceled now and more people are laid off. Embracer, you sick sons of bitches. When talk for our tweak out, man. Talk for our heat up, man.
Deus Ex, phenomenal franchise. I've bought every game. Have I beat them? No, but that's because I suck at them. Definitely a game. And the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, when I bought the newest Deus Ex and I saw that like upgrade chips were like microtransactions,
that was, and I remember when that was live too. I was like, yeah, this is y'all wilding. I don't got the facilities for this.
No, but would it have been nice to have a couple extra upgrade points? Absolutely. But selling level ups is nasty. Nasty business. Shame on you. Shame on you for whoever decided that was gonna be a thing. But back to Embracer Group, you guys fucking suck, dude. Like, you guys are like the worst thing to happen to the video game industry. I don't understand how it's even legal for people with this much incompetence to be able to acquire things they know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? It makes zero sense to me that, like, I can walk in, if I have enough money, I could walk into a restaurant, buy it, and just say, I am the chef now. I will serve you all food. And it's like, well, what experience do you have? I don't, but I have the money, so I could do it. You guys have literally come in here trying to make a quick buck. Did not work out. You could have asked anybody who's been playing games at any point in time, like, hey, you're not gonna make a lot of, like, games make money long term. It's not a quick cash grab. You are not gonna find the next fucking Fortnite. You are not gonna find it. I promise you, you will not find the next Fortnite before it blows up. Epic didn't even know didn't know they had Fortnite, and they had Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? Shit just happens. Stop trying to force it. Stop trying to, like, because that's what I think they did, was we're gonna cast a wide net, and we're gonna see if any of these games that these people make blows up enough to make us a gajillion dollars. It doesn't work that way, especially when you buy single player fucking games. Anybody in the world in their right mind could have told you single player games aren't the games that make you money. Like you should have went and tried to buy Apex or something, or try to buy a fucking company that's trying to make the next multiplayer shooter. Buy them, fund them, help them. Don't fucking buy shit like Deus Ex and think you're gonna make $1 million. Deus Ex, I don't even know if the motherfuckers broke even. It's a cult classic. It is a banger for the people that know about it. But if the next Deus Ex came out tomorrow, you wanna know how many motherfuckers are gonna be like, I ain't never heard of that shit. Like it doesn't, you guys just don't know what you're doing. And it's hurting a lot of people.
It pisses me off that these people are, again, to me, pound for pound, they're up there with the worst gaming companies of all time already. They're only like what, 2 years old, 1 year old. I can't remember. I don't care how old they are. They're terrible. Their tenure has been absolutely fucking awful, bro. And it pisses me off, man. It really does, because this is the thing with so many studios and IPs and franchises, games, developers with years of knowledge and a wealth of experience who maybe were in a tough way. You would think that you would want to take time and reassess how can we best platform all these projects or all these people. Again, I get the business aspect, but fuck business. I don't care about that. I don't care about your business outcomes and what bottom lines you have. At the end of the day, I see this playing out literally one way. Embracer's gonna keep doing this until they find a gem, which they most likely won't in any of the IPs that they have, or at least a gem in their perception. They have so many good IPs they create so many good games with, you know what I'm saying, and can sustain a lot of good business with over time. But they're only going to want to look for a Fortnite or Call of Duty, something to get, you know what I'm saying, get them out the hole, basically. And they're going to keep cutting and consolidating and cutting and consolidating and cutting and consolidating until most of the IPs and studios that we know and love over the years, poof, gone. IP, source code, all that shit lost to time, lost behind their walls, and nobody can get it back. And game preservation takes more hits because these dumbasses have so much hubris in their minds and hearts that they can't even think scrub 2 neurons together, you know what I'm saying, and let them fire to understand they have no experience and they have no vision when it comes to the gaming industry. You know what I'm saying? For business outcomes, maybe you're okay. Maybe not though, because your financial results probably weren't the best. You're still like hemorrhaging money. I had to close down so much shit. But from a gaming standpoint, I don't care about the business on this. It's a gaming standpoint. So many developers are losing their livelihoods for no fucking reason, just because you chose to corral a bunch of game studios together and you have no idea what to do with them. It baffles my mind, bruh. Again, just to speak to your point, when outside that, maybe, okay, Evil West was a good game. It's not going to be any world beater. Saints Row didn't hit. You know what I'm saying? Good series didn't hit, and that's not going to be something that's crazy. The System Shock reboot from PlayOn. You know what I'm saying? That's one of their brands. That maybe could go crazy, but that's an older game and a game that's kind of a cultist classic. So people aren't going to flock to it as crazy, I don't think. Metro Exodus, good game, not gonna hit. You know, Dead Island 2 was the best shot they probably had. Had a good game, had a great comeback. No, nothing. You know what I'm saying? What else Embracer got? You know what I'm saying? What? Coffee Stain, they got Saber Interactive, Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal. The best shot they got is a Tomb Raider. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a Gearbox, because Gearbox is under it. But no, bro. They're literally just trying to throw as much stuff at the wall and push people into, can you make a next Call of Duty? Can you make a next big franchise that saves our souls? You know what I mean? Like, they're just sitting there extending their credit, you know what I'm saying, and their loan statements and all stuff like that, trying to live on borrowed time. And then all that's gonna affect is the industry, the gaming industry. They don't care. They're gonna default or claim bankruptcy or whatever and sell off whatever assets and liquidate whatever companies they need to just to stay afloat. They're gonna do that. And the only people who take the brunt is us, the gamers who wanted to experience these games and IPs and new experiences or old experience, whatever may have you. And the developers who are literally busting their ass to live their dreams, you know what I'm saying? Or live whatever livelihoods they have to. They have to capture whatever, doing what they love, making games. And they're screwed. Everybody's screwed by this. So, yeah, Embracer. Yeah, we need to have at the award show run back this year. We gonna have to have a quick like little tiff with some of these people because they're shoo-ins for the worst gaming company of the year. Right now, they running the race by a country mile. They up there, bruh. But you know what I'm saying. Unfortunately, some people aren't that far behind.
Yeah.
And with that, we can move into the next one. So Tencent CEO, he was in headlines this week as he stated the company basically has been paces behind the competition in terms of dropping hits in the gaming space. As you know, recent games didn't meet internal expectations. And he basically 2023, we did nothing. He said 2023 was a wash. So thinking about, all the different games that were out there, Dying Light 2 is in Tencent's umbrella after they acquired Techland. Riot Games had a big ass layoff, like 520 people. There's so much more that they acquired. They're the biggest gaming company in the world, but they said 2023 wasn't it for them. You know what I'm saying? What does that mean if they're unsatisfied with 2023 from a certain standpoint? How'd you feel about those comments?
I don't even know. Like I don't even know.
Dog. I'm just confused. My main thing is confusion because they've acquired so much of the gaming industry. What do you expect at this point? What is your expectation? And this is the same thing as before with Embracer. Are you expecting to push out a Fortnite every 6 months? Are you expecting to find the one gem that's going to capture Fortnite success? Nobody on planet Earth is going to do that because Epic and Fortnite was a perfect storm. They literally had to sacrifice several games, a lot of development, manpower that went into that, specifically that was their Trojan horse into the industry. It was a perfect storm of elements that came together for them. You cannot do that, and you can't. There's things you can't force, bro. There's just some things you can't force. You can't force a Power World. You can't force an Enshrouded. You can't force an Among Us. You can't force those organic lightning in a bottle moments for certain games. And I feel like a lot of these companies see a boil the ocean strategy as one that works. Let's acquire as much as we possibly can and consolidate as much as we can, and somebody's got to produce something. That doesn't work like that because you're upsetting the structure of how certain things are. You know what I'm saying? If you're strategically looking at, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, how do we, let's bring these people in because we don't have this type of production in our wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? Let's acquire them. Mm-hmm. Let's let them operate how they are, but bring them under our wheelhouse and work on our projects. Let's shift their perspective a little bit. I understand a strategic view of it, and everybody's going to label shit as strategic. But if you acquire like 55 million fucking companies, I don't think there's much strategy in that. You just want to acquire damn near everything. Oh, we don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just picking and choosing. You don't have a say in the industry. It's just, you want to jump from 0 to 100, and then you want to try and backtrack and look at the success factors of, you know what I'm saying, these 100 companies, and you're still wrapping your head around gaming. You're still wrapping your head around the space. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this didn't make money. Why? Bro, you're not tapped into what gamers around the world are feeling and moving and thinking. And on top of that, again, it's just the same question again, but you're just consolidating shit, bro. You're just consolidating for consolidation's sake and keeping your bottom line tight. Like, yeah, Tencent. How about you just show some more patience and let people make games? That's my 2 cents on Tencent. Just chill out and let them make games. I don't give a fuck if you're impatient. Games are a long, arduous, like seriously grueling process to make for a lot of people. So you gotta wait to bear the right fruit. You can't jump the gun. So if your 2023 was, you know what I'm saying, a wash by your standards, you might need to take a couple steps back and let people work. You still got what? Riot Games alone got Project L. How many other games are still set to come out? Chill out. Wait. Y'all make enough money as it is, all Valorant and stuff. Like, y'all gotta patience.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's just sad to see. It's truly, you guys acquired so many good people, and I don't think anybody has ever really benefited from this acquisition.
Mm-hmm. it's just some short-term gains for the people who at the top making decisions, and it's unfortunately a recurring theme in this day and age.
Yeah.
I'm so mad I yawned. Rate this podcast 5 stars, damn it. Well, let's move on to some other news here. We got a brand new trailer for Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero that showed off some Goku and Vegeta gameplay, just them going through their different eras, again, from their first encounters in the Dragon Ball series all the way up through their Super Saiyan transformations, just through Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and we got a little glimpse of the character selection screen, which looks like 164 characters. About it could be more in time, but the character selection screen showed 164, which I believe is probably the largest we've ever seen in a Dragon Ball game, a Dragon Ball fighting game at all. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is substantial. This shit looks substantial. So how'd you take the trailer?
I thought the trailer was cool. Again, not a big fan of these arena fighters, so not really blown away. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. Those aspects were cool. The only thing I'm kind of like, is it confirmed that that's the character selection screen?
I don't think it's confirmed, but it's just like a lot of people are alluding to that being it since the characters popped up in that way. I feel like it was like a, you know.
The only issue I have is that I kind of feel like it may not be a character selection screen. I feel like it may be like an event selection screen. Like now hear me out. Like I don't want this to be the case because this would be awful. But I feel like because I saw like 4 pictures of Goku in like various different forms of Super Saiyan. Then I saw 4 different pictures of Goku in various different Super Saiyan forms.
Goku
and it made me
mid.
think like there's no way like there's 2 Goku Super Saiyan 2s, right? Unless it's like Goku Super Saiyan Super Saiyan 2, like how Vegeta had a Super Vegeta 2 or whatever the fuck. Like if it's the character select screen, it's sick. Part of me feels like maybe this is like their story mode. Maybe there's like, oh, you want to jump into this moment where Goku fought Broly, or you want to jump into this moment where Goku fought Cell. I hope that's not the case, because then that means that the roster may not be as big.
Yeah.
But 164 is a huge number, and I know that a lot of the older ones had like literally every single person you could possibly think of in the game. I don't know if there's 164 playable characters unless they're like, I mean every Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 are literally just Goku in different Super Saiyan looks. But like that was my only concern, is that I hope that it is actually very much a character select screen and not like the way of you choosing like your story mode or your favorite battles or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's very specific because there's a lot of damn battles. That's true, but I personally I think it is more so. I don't think it'd be it might not be the actual character selection screen, but I feel like at least it was just like a display for them to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying, the roster's huge, everyone's here type shit, you know what I mean, like the Super Saiyan or Smash Ultimate, you know what I'm saying, type vibe. But I think they have more than enough to go to 164 plus. If I'm thinking back to Budokai Tenkaichi 3 itself, I'm like, there was at least like 70, 60, you know what I'm saying, and that was from back then. That was from like 2007, 8. Between now and the again all the arcs of the Super Saga and stuff, the Tournament of Power and all that type of thing, like I think there's more than enough to do it. And all I'm saying is we need to make sure all the right characters are in. We need to make sure that the base roster has the best selection of characters. So if I don't see Devilman, if I don't see Demon King Deborah, if I don't see Nam, I'm gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be heated. And I was, of course, Kid Buu, because Kid Buu my guy. But we need to see. I need to see freaking Yajirobe in there. You know what I'm saying? I need all that, bro. We need to make sure we cover everything, bro. I want this game to have damn near every character. All right, all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So I think hoping. But I'm going to put my claim down and make it the prediction that the character list is actually that stacked. So I'll make the prediction there. I'll put the parlay down.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because I would love it to be the characters. But I've been burned by anime games before.
No, that's crazy. Shout out JoJo's, man. Shout out JoJo's. All right, we can push on here into some just more hits news. We can kind of hop in, hop out with this, because damn, there's too many freaking crazy news and shit. But Xbox, you know what I'm saying, with their whole acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, they've had a lot of different restructuring and changes. There's been layoffs, almost 2,000 employees just gone, just like that, and that's been a pain in the ass to just look at and deal with, man. Across Activision, across Xbox Studios, across, again, everything took hits and shaving down. We got a lot of different hits to the Call of Duty team itself. I think it was like what. I'm looking back at the page here. It was like Sledgehammer Games, 30% of their staff was gone. Toys for Bob, over 30%. High Moon Studios got 10% of their staff cut. Treyarch, all the flagship studios for Call of Duty got hit. And then the physical team for Xbox, the physical retail team, is completely gone, which is a bigger sign than I think people are, giving some credence to in this whole swash of layoffs. So when you're just quick thoughts on that.
You guys spent $70 billion. And unfortunately, I think you got the money from the people on your, like, I would like to make it known that I think a lot of companies really just genuinely, when they're looking at like, oh, I can acquire this, they're leveraging their actual human beings as part of the negotiations. When they're like, oh, we can do 70 billion, they're thinking, well, how are we going to do 70 billion? Well, we just literally ruin 20% of people's lives, and of the people who work for us lives, and that's how we can afford to buy the game with a bunch of bots and racism, and we can buy the game with actually that actually works for both of the Activision shooters. So we're gonna just leave that for both of those things. The dying franchise that's become a money laundering scheme. It's just all microtransactions and nonsense, and a bunch of other games that nobody has played in like the past 10 years. We can spend $70 billion on that, kill a bunch of people's careers, and it's going to be such a good time. Shit is disgusting. Shit is really, really awful to see. We also gave literal monsters millions on their way out the door. And on top of all of that, I have not seen anybody take a pay cut. I have not seen anybody do anything to try to save their employees. It's been very much like, well, I'm just gonna fire you, instead of like, I don't know, maybe not being able to afford a yacht this year, or not being able to have 6 different homes across the country. Like, this shit is nasty. It is quite disgusting.
Yeah, that was the point that got me, honestly. Again, always with these business moves. Again, this is going to be another theme of this episode. I don't care about the business. I will acknowledge that, yes, acquisitions happen a lot, and in acquisitions, there are some things that are redundant and need to be, put away as a sense to make fiscal and financial sense. But I don't care. I don't care. There could have been a way to at least give, at least at minimum. I don't even know if they got proper severance. I don't know if these 1,900 folks got proper severance from leaving the company or getting laid off. I don't even know. People had to find out on Twitter like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Which is insane to me. And the money that went, the millions and millions of dollars that is spent on the executives and officials who, do next to nothing and are fucking ne'er-do-wells, for lack of a better term. They walk out with millions, and that could have went to keep these 1,900 people in the company, or at least give them good severance. So it's just funny to me how there's always this goalpost moving of, oh, it is what it is, this, that, the third. Like, we're gutting a lot of what makes the industry good and the people that are in it. And I don't think people see that. I don't think people understand how much of a knock-on effect that actually does have to gaming. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a lot of people who are just only focused on the end product, but motherfucker, that's the ingredients. Those are the ingredients. Those are the chefs. Those are the kitchen makers. That's everything about it. The motherfuckers who are talking that you see, again, like shouts to all the executive heads or whatever, but y'all aren't really, you know what I'm saying? You're not the lifeblood. You are exterior to that. We can bring in another, another executive, whatever, the next day. But if 1,900 people walk out, that's, that's a difference. If half of your workforce leaves, what are you gonna do? So it's always wild to me, and especially seeing some comments online about people saying that, oh yeah, they just kind of brush it off and shrug it off, and I'm like, bro, these are the people that make everything that we want to experience and get into. They make it good. And the more hits we see like this, and the more reshuffling and restructuring and stuff, there is going to be a point where significant hits will be taken to the quality of everything. I mean, the AAA level had already happened, but everywhere else, you know what I'm saying, outside of indies, you know, mid-size and up, we could see some just crazy knock-on effects in time. You know what I'm saying? The talent might not be able to find a way back in, and that sucks to say. That sucks to say. And beyond that, just from the gaming standpoint, bro, physical retail is seriously rapidly approaching its death at the sake of just expanding profits, and it sucks. That sucks, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. That is so bad. We don't have ownership over anything anymore. They can just pull something. Again, I didn't put it on the notes this week. I took it off actually, but I just wanted to say it real quick as kind of in relation. Spec Ops: The Line, if you guys ever heard of that game, for some that do, some that don't, that's being pulled from, that's gone. It's off of everything as of yesterday or the day before. It's gone. GOG, Steam, Microsoft, all that gone. You can't buy it online anymore. And that's how quickly, that's how easy these companies can pull the access to these things. Look at Nintendo over the years. They're not even bringing shit back. And we're at a loss. You know what I'm saying? And the only people who lose that battle is us. So physical retail getting gutted like this from a company as big right now as Xbox, after they just acquired $70 billion worth of gaming assets, that's not a good sign. That shows that, again, we have to kind of instill some type of ownership back into it. And I already said this on the timeline, I'll say it again. Don't be surprised when these companies put a physical disc in all these collector's editions and start charging like $50 or $100 more than what they already are. Don't be surprised when they start doing that, because like, oh yeah, it's special edition, you want to make some blah blah blah, a physical steelbook, da with a disc. Imagine, just wait, because that something like that is it's gonna happen. So I'm just like, damn. I hope everybody can land on their feet though. Everybody who got affected, my heart goes out. I hope y'all can land on your feet.
For sure. Like I hope for the best for you people, because you're the ones who make these games.
100. Real talk, man. But moving on to some rumor news, got a couple of rumors in the mill today for this episode. A cryptic tweet from Stellar Entertainment, who's behind a few racing games over the past few years in those remasters. We kind of got some indication we could get a new Burnout. You know what I'm saying? There was a tweet that they dropped, and they had like, you know, saying some cheeky wordplay in there. They had like kind of a nameplate of I think it was like POV, you're about to be rear-ended. You know what I'm saying? I think the last paragraph said, and the bosses still haven't issued any takedowns. So I'm like, this could be a lot of words that suggest that they got a new Burnout coming, whether it be I don't know, a new installment in and of itself, just a reboot. I don't know what it's gonna be, but something Burnout could be coming. How do you feel about that?
I don't know where it's gonna land. I guess I like car games, but I feel like even like the biggest names like Need for Speed are not really having the same effect they used to have. Like, it used to be a AAA game, like it used to be like a big release. Now not a Burnout, but like a new Need for Speed game is kind of seen as like, oh, okay, cool, like it's for those specific people. But I think a Burnout, it's not as popular as Need for Speed, and it's definitely not going to have the same effect as like a Forza. I don't know. I think Burnout was probably one of my favorite games though. Like it was one of my favorite racing games. It was a lot of fun, and it was very different. It was a very different take on driving, because now it was cool to not be able to drive well. Like it sucked when you got destroyed, but it was cool to see yourself get destroyed, if that makes sense. Like, it made losing kind of fun. I would love to see a new Burnout, but I don't know. It'll probably get received kind of like the new Saints Row. And when I say that, I mean, it's like some people are going to be excited. Some people are going to be very indifferent. It's going to fall on the game to really make its own steam. You know, like it's going to fall on the game being really, really fun and addicting, and people being like, yeah, I want to play more of this.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Again, as a lot of people know, Burnout Paradise is probably one of the best racing games of all time, just for the level of not give a fuck that the game had. Like, it was just fun, just crash into motherfuckers and cause mayhem. Like, it was definitely up there. So I can kind of see them going in that route, just kind of like have not necessarily Burnout Paradise 2, but just a full reboot, but with those elements. I know the remaster came out like a few years ago, and people were like, you know, I mean, it was a performance down mainly, but they weren't like too high on it. But I mean, listen, from a Bear standpoint, I would like a Burnout. I think it's been enough time since we had another Burnout, and if they're not going to make a completely new game with it, I feel like, you know, like a complete new IP with this type of talk and rhetoric that they put behind the tweets, a new Burnout, I think it's enough time that's passed to be like, yo, we can put a new installment of Burnout on it. And I feel like the racing genre kind of needs that a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like again, the open world racing is cool. All that stuff is cool, but it's kind of had a run at it. I think bringing that twist back, you know what I'm saying? The more aggressive, you know what I'm saying? The more just more, not necessarily just violent. Let's just put it that way. It's just more violent racing. You know what I mean? Some to put some more oomph in it rather than just the races itself. You know what I mean? Or at least presented as that. I think could be a big boost to the driving game space as well. Because how many motherfuckers actually playing Forza? You know what I'm saying? Only people who bought the wheels and shit like that. And I'm not doing that. So, you know what I mean? No disrespect to Forza, but I'm just saying that's where I'm lying at. That's where I'm at. So,
I think it has a pretty big, like, I feel like the Forza fan base is about as big as the Need for Speed fan base now at this point. But I also think Forza has Game Pass to help with that.
Yeah, but they got Motorsport, not Horizon, because I think Horizon Motorsport's completely different. I think Motorsport.
Oh no, I was talking about Horizon. I wasn't even thinking about Motorsport.
Yeah, Motorsport and like Gran Turismo, they're over there. I'm talking about those are the racing wheel motherfuckers. They're over there. They're their own thing.
Yeah, like I was talking about more so like Horizon. Like I feel like that fan base is pretty big now.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Game Pass. So it's gonna be hard for them to find their lane, no pun intended. But I think it's possible because I didn't think Burnout was more popular than Need for Speed back then. And what I would say one of the peaks of the Need for Speed franchise, we got Burnout Paradise, and that game was like all over the place. So, you know, it's possible. I do think it is possible.
Facts. I think they have enough credit in the bank with nostalgia and all that stuff like that to at least give them a leg in the door to be like, yo, see what we got new. So we'll see what happens. That's fair. And pushing on to more rumors, damn it. It seems like it might be time when got more rumors swirling that the Nintendo Switch 2 will actually drop in 2024. We've got, apparently some preliminary plans for the Switch 2 to ship 10 million units at least during its first fiscal year. I think there was there's some news on it was going to have an 8-inch LCD screen, which is probably the biggest handheld thing that we've gotten so far. Again, more than the Switch OLED, more than the Steam Deck OLED, more than the base Switch. And people are saying we should expect it to drop sometime in 2024.
Have you ever held a Steam Deck?
Nah, I haven't.
So my friend has one, and I picked it up for the first time the other day. That shit's pretty massive, in my opinion. That shit feels wide as fuck. Maybe the screen isn't as big, but I was like, this is OD. But hearing that the Switch 2 is gonna be bigger than that, man, if that shit isn't as good or better than the internals of the Steam Deck, I don't want it. I don't want a big clunky big ass system that's not as strong. It would just be a waste of space, as mean as it sounds. Like I want something that's gonna be worthwhile. And man, I just don't know if Nintendo's ready for that, They're gonna hit us with it's weaker than the Steam Deck, but it's Nintendo. And unfortunately a lot of people are gonna buy it, myself included probably. But I'm just like, man, I want you guys to I don't know. I hate to say it sound like this, but I kind of want you guys to try to do more than just make really, really good games. Because we're not going to sit here and act like Nintendo games aren't super addicting. They aren't super good. But sometimes I feel like that's kind of a crutch when it comes to their hardware. They're just like, well, we know our games are going to move this, so it doesn't really matter.
At least get them in the ballpark to what we have currently. You know what I mean? Somewhere around. Just give us a little bit more and fix that online, because I heard y'all soldiers are struggling out there, brother. Your soldiers are struggling online.
I don't even think Nintendo could even fix the online. I mean, the online could significantly be better, yes, 1000%. But I don't think the online is gonna ever really change because like even some like I play Tekken, right? And I still will find people online in ranked playing on PC Wi-Fi, and I just don't know how you can own a computer and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just hook it up to the Wi-Fi unless you're playing on a laptop. In which case, you're playing Tekken ranked right now on a laptop.
You're
get
unhinged.
This shit out of here, bro. Like, just play something else, brother. But if I can't get on Tekken and play online, and I see somebody on PC wired in, I don't think anybody on a Switch is even gonna look at their router. You know, so. I don't know if they'll ever fit. They could definitely make it better. They could definitely make it significantly better, especially since now people are paying for it. It's like, what's the excuse to Nintendo? Like, what's holding you back besides greed?
Nah, real talk. We'll see what they got, but you know what I'm saying, I feel like yes, I think holiday 2024 is the time. We need to see a Switch 2. I'm looking over at my Switch 1, and I feel immediately regretful that I got this last year, but it's okay. It was a gift, and I will cherish it forever. I'm actually gonna play some games on it this year, guys. You know what I'm saying? High five me, but just in time to somehow regret my life decision of not waiting a little bit more, or at least not telling people to wait because the Switch 2 was coming. So we'll see what's up with it. Also, a really quick one that popped up earlier today. Listen, the handheld market getting hot, y'all, because PlayStation, there's been a rumor that PlayStation now has a new handheld in development that's going to be powered by AMD, just 1.8 gigahertz or slower GPU, just kind of to keep in step with the PS4, PS5 titles. But we may be getting a dedicated PlayStation handheld yet again. After I do not count the PlayStation Portal, by the way. I don't count that. That does not count. A dedicated, actually got some hardware on it system. So how do you feel about a potential new handheld coming into the market?
This is starting to get a little saturated. I don't think we need that, especially since you guys just dropped some bullshit. It just doesn't make sense that you guys dropped that nonsense remote play nonsense. Like, that's the only way I could describe it. Like, I don't understand how.
I know why.
What do you think it is?
Listen, their PlayStation is what I would like to call toe dippers. They're one of the many toe dippers in what's it called, business and games, as it were. You know how there's always one company who's going to dive in first, and then they discover the gold mine, and then the people with trucks and equipment are behind them like, oh, you discovered a gold mine? Word. Beep, beep, beep. And they pull their shit right in, and they get what they're trying to get, you know what I'm saying, their footprint in on stuff. You know, again, in business, there's the first movers, the early adopters, the laggards, and then like the late consumers, whatever the 4 stage is. I forget the business term exactly, but that's what you're looking at. They're kind of like the laggards, where they got enough weight on them as a franchise, as a brand or whatever, to drop whatever and be happy, but they needed to wait. They didn't know if they wanted to waste their money on a whole handheld, not knowing that the handheld market's booming again because it's got so much, you know what I'm saying, congruence with the mobile market now. They're just like, oh shit, let's work on our mobile division real quick. Let's work on the handheld division real quick. Let's see if we could we might be able to, you know what I'm saying, finagle some stuff and get in the game. They see how the Switch has been killing for years, it's been killing the game for years. You know what I'm saying? They see the mobile market's been killing for some time now. They're not going to drop a phone. They're not going to drop a dedicated phone for this. iPhone and all that shit, they already got that locked. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? They know the best way that they can enter this market and be competitive is with, again, a new handheld. They have the IPs behind their brand. They have the backing in terms of games. You just need to support it fully, which, you know, other handhelds in the past on PlayStation didn't get that, which makes no sense why they exited this whole damn space just to enter it again. Oh, y'all suck for not supporting the Vita. Oh my gosh. That impulse, my bad. But they see the Switch killing. They see all these other competitors like the Steam Deck, the Asus ROG, you know, all these other ones that are popping into the market, and they're like, yo, we have enough to get in on it, you know, to get in on this ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So they see the opportunity that's already being reaped by other companies, and they know they're big enough to probably take some market share and scoot some people out the way. That's why they're doing. That's why they dropped the PlayStation Portal. It was a toe dip. They were like, do people actually want to see a handheld anything from us again? And they were like, oh, people actually do. This is bullshit. Like we just told Larry to make this in like 20 minutes and he did it. So, you know, and people took to it. And now they're like, okay, we see what the game is. We're now going to start pushing this heavier and heavier and have a dedicated mobile connection, you know, our handheld connection or handheld connect between the PS5 and the PS5, PS4 and a mobile handheld. So this is a matter of course for them. I knew this was going to happen when they dropped PlayStation Portal, honestly, because you don't just drop any BS tech unless you're going to taste test if there's something more that could happen, because I see this automatically happening. They're going to drop a full dedicated handheld for, you know, maybe $250 or whatever, and they're going to keep the PlayStation Portal cheap, and they're going to call it like tiered options. Like, oh, if you don't want to go too crazy, you can have this that's still connected in your home, but if you want to really get on the go and you're going to get the full PlayStation handheld, the PS, you know what I'm saying, the PS Vita 2, the PSM, the PS Mobile, or whatever the hell it's going to be called. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to package it that way. This was just all a segue to see how far they can push the envelope from a handheld standpoint.
Yeah, I feel you, but I am not gonna lie to you. I don't know how many units they made. I guess that's a better question of the PlayStation Portal, because that would ultimately really decide, like, prove how much money they might potentially lose. Because at the end of the day, if I don't have a PlayStation Portal right now, I'm not buying one if they're gonna make a PlayStation Vita 2 or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, that's also true.
I also don't even think it's going to be... I also can't trust Sony to make another PSP to capture the lightning in the bottle effect that the PSP was. Because the PSP was cool because the PSP let you do a lot of shit without, like, not even jailbreaking shit, just literally like, oh, you have a movie, just upload it and you would just be able to use it. Like, the most inconvenient part about the PSP was, one, their game discs were
my gosh,
weird as hell. That shit was mad.
These weird ass oval joint. I'm like, yo, bro, get these circular trapezoids off my shit.
Shits. Yeah, like you guys could have just used cartridges, to be honest. I know you want to be different, but like, yeah, I cannot imagine those were easy to produce
at all.
I also, it was right before online gaming really started taking off. Like, I think it would have been significantly better when, like, the PSN was a thing. Because I don't even think we had a PSN back then. If I'm not mistaken.
I think it's before. PSN was like, PSN was PS3. Well, it was early online with that, but PSN,
that was early on.
Yeah, PSN was like PS3 era. It came out around then.
And I just feel like, I could be wrong, but I just remember, like, the store was like whatever, like I would just download games. It was cool, but it definitely wasn't, like, we weren't in that era yet, right? It was a little bit ahead of its time in that sense, where like people were still very much buying physical games. So like, I wasn't gonna sit here and be like, I'm gonna just download this game online. I was gonna go find the cartridge or whatever, because we were all used to that at that point. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to capture that lightning in a bottle effect with the PSP, because they're too greedy now. Like, we can barely get. It took them forever to let us to get Fortnite like crossplay. Those same people that didn't let us have that, they're gonna all of a sudden be like, yeah, we're definitely gonna let you guys just put whatever video you want on your PSP, your new PSP. We're gonna let you use other streaming services, or we're gonna let you do XYZ. Like, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for PlayStation to do something consumer friendly. Like, that's just the way it is. Consumer friendly, no. Profitable? Games? Yeah.
Profitability, absolutely. Listen, I just think they see the money to be gained in the handheld space because everybody else is jumping in the pool and they want to do a cannonball. This is what it is to me. So I can completely see them doing this and jumping, like, fully immersing into the handheld space again, just off the fact that there's a lot of money coming back from this, you know, from this lane, and they know they can sell because they got loyalists who are going to eat it all up. So, you know, there's that platform to get off of. Okay, moving on to the next story. One of the biggest elephants in the room over the years has been Call of Duty's skill-based matchmaking system. People have complained about it. I have complained about it as a previous sweat and Call of Duty whore. I'm not afraid to admit that. But there's been a whole report that happened over the past week that talked about the factors that go into skill-based matchmaking and why it will never go away. It basically, they confirmed what we already knew, guys. They said that, you know, if we don't have skill-based matchmaking, it's going to discourage a lot of players who are lower in skill from playing, and their player retention rates just plummeted when skill-based matchmaking was off in previous studies. So they kind of went away with that idea, and they said, hey, we're going to keep this skill-based matchmaking in at almost all times. Pretty much never going away. You know, they looked at some of the different factors that went in. They showed, like, you know, just some of the different things like, you know, time to lobby, relative skill, combat record, looking at it here, yeah, time to manage skill performance, their platform, the input device, the recent maps and modes that you've played, the playlist diversity, your connection, again, voice chat history. They put a lot of things into consideration for when you're actually, you know, joining matches. And on top of that, they said if you quit matches early, it actually messes up, you know, connectivity with other matches and stuff like that, and it upsets the balance because people are trying to find games. So you quitting actually doesn't help you find, you know, it doesn't help you get into better matches per se, you know what I'm saying? It just upsets the whole system. So looking at what they provided, how did you feel about, you know, just looking at this and then people complaining about skill-based matchmaking and then providing this report?
So, as somebody who plays fighting game, I would like to start off by saying, tighten up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I hate that people of my skill are being put in the same lobbies as me, bro. I complained about skill-based matchmaking when I had people in Fred lobbies from Apex in my pub game.
That's insane. Bro,
that's when I complained about it.
Yeah, that was disgusting, bro. My first game I had what's it called? A dude that played pro. I forgot my man's name. It was dead ass the real dude. I don't know if you remember. No. It was another guy. His name was like Daltouche. I think it was Daltouche was his name. I looked up his whole thing. I was like, that's the real dude. That was the real guy. I was like, why? I just got out of rank. I just got out of my placements.
Like, it's ridiculous. But like, that's when I complained about skill-based matchmaking because it didn't work. Like, I was bronze every season. Mind you, I don't play ranked on Apex, but I'm bronze every season. There's no reason somebody is a Pred player in my lobby. I don't care who I'm playing with. None of my friends at the time hit Pred. Maybe close to Masters, but Pred never. But so when I hear like Call of Duty people complaining, one, I blame Tim the Tatman and the 40-year-old COD players. I just genuinely think it's a lot of complaining from the mouths of the community. Mm-hmm. Like people who are like, hey, I play Call of Duty for a living, and you watch me play Call of Duty every day, so you believe that my opinions are correct, when in reality they're not. They're very skewed. They're getting placed in games with people who play Call of Duty as much as them, and if you're getting cooked, bro, man, I don't know what to tell you, dog. That means you're not improving as much as the people who are playing the same amount as you are improving. So you need to tighten up. You need to get better. Maybe you need to focus a little bit more. And I understand as a streamer, one game that I don't really like streaming is League of Legends, because I can't really play that game while explaining all of my thought process and reading a chat and doing XYZ or whatever. Like, if I'm playing that shit and doing something, it's like I have to be playing on like bot games or like doing like labbing shit out. But I never play that game on stream because it's really hard for me to communicate and be entertaining and play the game. So if you're getting put in these lobbies, you probably are as skilled as them, but you're probably just not as focused as the people who are playing because they're playing to win. So tighten up. Like, I just don't get the point of why this is even still a conversation to be had. Like, you're literally saying I want to play against people who are worse than me because I'm not having fun. Then you need to play a different game. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You need to find something else to do, because there's no reason you should be sitting here putting a bunch of hours into Call of Duty and you're complaining about motherfuckers being better than you. Like, I play Tekken. If I was to say that, if I was to win Evo or be the biggest Tekken streamer and say, I hate that when I join Tekken games, they put me against people who are my level, I would be a laughingstock. People would not take me seriously. My children would disown me. My family would want their name back. Like, it would just be absurd to be this this corny, bro. Like, just tighten up or don't play. Like, it's not that big a deal. I'm sorry to tell you that your Call of Duties with the fat ass aim assist and the broken ass builds and the cheaters is not gonna hold your, like, that's crazy to me. Like, and these are the people that be saying like y'all wouldn't survive in the Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Like y'all don't survive in these lobbies now because you guys bitch and moan and leave because you're getting dick, and then you get mad at everybody else. But bro, you're like 1 in 12, and you're bitching. Tighten up, like do something, camp. Or anything right now, please.
Hey, get good, lock in, stop being a bitch. That's all you need to know. Honestly, if you're complaining about skill-based matchmaking at this point, you just got to give up, man. Literally, it's just a part of the game. Get good. That's literally it. Get good, or just acknowledge the L. That's fine. It's fine to lose. It's okay to lose, bro. It happens to everybody. But get better. If you're not gonna get better, get out the game. Simple.
Yeah, like you got these old ass motherfuckers like Dr. Disrespect being like the game is awful, and it's like, no, bro, you're 45, and you're not as fucking fast as the 16-year-old who's been playing the game just as many hours as you. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not the game. It's you. Like, you're not good, and it is what it is.
Facts.
And I don't want to hear anybody in the comments being like, well, 1v1 me and I'll show you that I am good. I'm like, that's not gonna change anything. If you're bitching about skill-based matchmaking, it means you don't really want to get better. You just want to shit on people. And there's a lot of shooters. Yeah, like you could play Doom Eternal, bro. You could do so much running around shooting shit and like just having a ball. But like, I'm sorry, real people want to win just as bad as you, so they're gonna try real fucking hard. And if you can't compete, then I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, take your ass out the kitchen. That's the least of Call of Duty's problems, by the way. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, we can push on here. Looking at Ubisoft. It looks like there was like a big State of the Union report from Insider Gaming, and we just wanted to definitely run through some of the big points that were on it. Just to look here, just go from point to point. First, morale is apparently like at an all-time low. And folks are fearing that the company's heading towards major reworks and restructures and stuff. And with that, it's been said that Ubisoft has kind of started to shift their strategy to prioritizing popular content over innovation, which has been leading to a lot of waste of resources in a lot of different projects that they've been working on across their studio. So just a reaction to that.
Like focusing on popular content over innovation. I don't know what content they have that is so popular that can pull them out of whatever financial struggles they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they've been focused on popular content since inception, because we've gotten an Assassin's Creed game every year for like the past decade. So I feel like the popular content has already been focused on. And then like the games that people have been fucking asking for, like Rayman, don't get shit, but we get another Assassin's Creed, another Far Cry, and the games aren't innovative. They're the same fucking game. Shout out to Far Cry 6 for doing something a little bit differently, but everything else is very much the same. Maybe the problem isn't focusing on the cool shit. Maybe we need, it's not even cool shit, focusing on the popular shit. We need to focus on cool shit. We need to do cool things, guys. This needs to not be, you need to not fucking, man. Like, I don't even know, I truly cannot comprehend how somebody sat in that fucking office and said, hey, we need to not change the game. We need to do what we've been doing for longer. Because there's no way you're gonna sit here and tell me you guys haven't been focusing on popular shit when from Assassin's Creed 3 till Assassin's Creed Origin, it was a yearly drop. Like, you guys are doing too much of the popular shit. Try something new. Try something new. Who knows? Maybe we may like another fucking Rayman game.
Yeah. Yeah. My only reaction to this is, yeah, that makes sense coming from y'all and y'all track record as of recent. You know, like I just feel for the people who like really want to innovate and, you know, just make some different games. They're probably going another direction, and they're forced into the same, again, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed hole, and they cannot do anything else. That sucks. That we might not get anything fresh from Ubisoft for a while. So yeah, that's an overall pain. Moving on to the next point, we had some numbers that came in from Prince of Persia. They said it might have undersold a little bit. They only had like 15 million in revenue and 300K copies, while Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and Assassin's Creed Mirage have seemed to hit fair standing with 133 million and 250 million in revenue respectively. I don't know how much the projects cost, so I don't know if that's over under as of yet. But I mean, just reaction to those numbers.
Surprised that Avatar was on sale. Like I'm surprised that it did better than Prince of Persia. Truly shocked. My bad, I was unfamiliar with your game. But I think Prince of Persia is still very much, in my opinion, the type of games that should be focused. Y'all should really be, because the thing is, like, you're not going to get all the old Prince of Persia fans back with the one game that just dropped. But you make another one, and you make another one, and the old heads that were holding out because they were like, I don't really want to buy this bullshit, are like, well, the second game I heard is gas too. The third game I heard is gas too. I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe I'll tap in. And on top of that, you'll make new fans. Imagine that, more fans of a franchise, because it's not like franchise. All the fans come on the first fucking day. I don't think we need more Avatar though. Like I think that's sold well because we got Avatar fans. But again, hey, I mean, actually, I don't want to say shit because I didn't play the game. So if that shit was selling, you know, good for them. I hope they continue to do well. But I think that a game like Prince of Persia is worth more than something like an Avatar. You know. Because Avatar already has a very established fan base coming off of one of the most profitable movies in history. Still, again, I like some of the blue people. I didn't know it was moving numbers like that, but it was one of the most popular movies in the world, so it makes sense that the game also sold pretty well just off the straight for the IP alone. But to compare it to Prince of Persia, a game that y'all didn't make a sequel for since the PlayStation 3. Yeah, it makes sense that shit didn't get as much love as fucking the blue people.
Yeah, type shit. And yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Assassin's Creed, I feel like it's going to sell despite itself. Unfortunately, it's one of the last vestiges of a cash cow in this damn company. But Prince of Persia is the only thing I'm pretty surprised by, just at least a little bit. I mean, again, it was the IP is again like just now coming back into people's minds, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But I hope people support it though. I hope people support it because this is actually like a really good game. I actually want to buy it on Switch because, you know what I'm saying, I need to give my Switch some more love. But I think just a little bit more of a boost from that. I hope it's not discouraging from an exec standpoint where they're seeing, oh, this didn't work out or something like that. Because critically, this is really good. So I hope there's a little more of a boost from Prince of Persia in the weeks to come. In terms of this year's releases for Ubisoft, we have 2 that are planned right now, apparently from internal reports. We have 1, Star Wars Outlaws in the first half of 2024, and 2, AC Japan or Codename Red in the second half of 2024. So it's looking like just those 2 might be the marquee ones from Ubisoft this year. How do you feel about that one?
I think that... You said it was, what were the games again?
Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Japan or Codename Red.
Outlaws, I think, is going to sell numbers. I think it's going to do well, or it's going to do as well as Avatar. I want to say.
Yeah,
because
that
it does
makes
look
sense.
pretty solid. It doesn't look bad. And it's also a very important, very big franchise. Assassin's Creed. It's Assassin's Creed. I wouldn't be surprised if it sold. But again, like I just said. This isn't like stop focusing on this shit. It's not that this plan isn't a good idea. It's the fact that I think you guys are playing it safe and it's only going to slow the bleeding. It's only going to help a little bit. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, innovation is what really moves shit. Power World, look how many units that shit sold. And this is a small company. Right? They did something different, completely different. They saw a lane and they took it. What are you guys doing to innovate, to make your games fresh, to make people be like, yo, I gotta tap in with the Ubisoft folks. Them boys is doing something different. You know what I'm saying? Like the brand and the Ubisoft brand is also just in a really bad spot too, because there's not one. I can't think of one person being like, yo, man, them Ubisoft games, man, this shit's gonna be, them shits is gas. Like it's been very, very, very bad press from you guys in recent years.
type shit. Honestly, yeah. And
it's awful.
Yeah, and they just need to have a turnaround of something, man. Again, Prince of Persia, hopefully promoting stuff like that would be a turnaround for them in terms of making quality stuff. But you know, it seems like their plan is to just promote what people know instead of what can be great. You know what I mean? And that's sad, you know, but Star Wars Outlaws, I think, is going to be a solid game still, regardless. I hope it's going to be something that stands out. I think it to me, it looks pretty good. I need to see more gameplay of it, see some of the differences. I like the snippet that we got last year, but I need to see more. Assassin's Creed Japan and Red might actually come out before Ghost of Tsushima 2, but I'm still going to look at it as if Ghost of Tsushima 2 is still on the way very, very soon. Honestly, it might get announced this year. If Ghost of Tsushima 2 gets announced this year, I'm going to still be like, damn, bruh. Not far away enough. You didn't drop soon enough, bro. Because I'm still thinking about it now. So I'm still interested. I said before I wanted to try Assassin's Creed Red or Japan, and I'm still going to. But if they're gonna go in the sense of Assassin's Creed Mirage and have like the little powers and stuff like that, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, man. Interesting, yeah, to see whether they go back to the RPG style or they're gonna stick to the, you know, I guess the slightly more grounded Assassin's Creed gameplay or closer to the original, but with all the crazy superpowers that like makes you assassinate 6 people in one move. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens for that one. And outside of this year, they had some more future titles in the works, and we had a listing of those potentially with a new mainline Ghost Recon game, 2 new Far Cry games, with one being multiplayer and another one being mainline, 2 new Assassin's Creed games in Hex and Invictus. Don't know what those are just yet, but we heard about Hex before. Splinter Cell remake, which we already knew about, and then beyond that, just more Assassin's Creed games. Potentially included in there is a Black Flag remake. So, what do you think about that?
I just wish they just changed their name to like the Assassin's Creed company. like I feel like at this point that's all, because any Ubisoft thing, if there is no Assassin's Creed, it's almost like it's not even the same company anymore. And again, that's the problem. You know what's funny is like when I was talking earlier about why we have way too many Assassin's Creed games and they come out too often, I was thinking about fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I completely forgot Mirage came out like this year. Last year. And we're getting another one at this year too. Like, and we're getting and they're like, yo, we're working on a Black Flag remake. Y'all can't even do Skull and Bones. That was supposed to be the fucking Black Flag remake. Funny. That was supposed to be the fucking pirate game. If you're like, yo, we can't figure this shit out, so we're gonna just bring the old shit back.
If y'all look into that report too, I think one of the main problems with the creative direction and like all the misused resources, it was mainly because of Skull and Bones, because the director's division and the direction changed so many times. They were like, well, what the fuck is going on? So it's funny you mention that, because that's directly like the culprit number one of misused resources at Ubisoft apparently.
Because, and you want to know why they misused it? Because they didn't know how to support it. Because you want to know why? They were like, yo, so the guys aren't gonna have hoods or hidden blades, and they're like, what the fuck? God damn, it's like making a whole new game. We've never done anything like this before.
The gears and smoke was coming out their ears as they tried to think of how to develop this game.
It's like, okay, well, is the guy's name at least gonna be what's the guy from
Kxngviii? We got a Kxngviii?
No. What's the main motherfucker who's sleeping on the bed and having the Assassin's Creed dreams?
Oh, what's it called? Desmond.
Yeah, there's like, is anybody there gonna be called Desmond? No. What the fuck? How are you gonna have a storyline? God damn it, bro. Like, you guys are just not serious,
bro. Oh man, when I say Ubisoft is in a very troubling state, they've been on thin ice for a while, in my opinion, and this continues to go. I feel like if these games aren't stellar, they could be in a very strenuous spot where potential restructuring and, you know, looking at how to, you know, either downsize or spin out or do whatever to kind of survive might be in the cards. It might be on the way, and that sucks because Ubisoft, it used to be such a beacon, and I don't want to be the person to bash in and pile in, but all you can do is pile in at this point and kind of you got to give the raw truth of it, like, yo, they're not in a good position. I hope they can turn it around, but the direction suggests to me that they're not looking to expand on anything. They're not looking to, again, create something that's truly a big step forward. They're just trying to shuffle in place with the cards that they already have. Oh, Assassin's Creed works, we'll just shuffle here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the Ghost Recon doesn't work, but it feels like it works, so we're just gonna shuffle here. You know what I mean? And the Splinter Cell remake is the only thing I hope for. Do not fuck it up. That's beside the point. But you know what I mean? It's just like they're just shuffling back in the same things that they know instead of trying to take the risk and potentially make something great. And I feel like maybe sales numbers might be a little bit overwhelming at first for, like, again, a brand new for a new installment in an IP you haven't brought in years in Prince of Persia. It might not look great immediately, you know what I'm saying, in terms of sales numbers, but if you keep building on those type of things, at least invest in the project, invest long term instead of looking for the short term, you know what I'm saying, just the money hit of, oh, Assassin's Creed works every time, we're just going to do Assassin's Creed, it gets us over the line. We're not looking for over the line. We're looking for great experiences, and that's what garners long-term, actual, you know, just investment from the fans, investment from the gamers. That's why people love Rockstar, because as crazy as their business practices are behind the scenes, and as wild as they are a company business-wise, they put out games that are worthwhile, that are deep, that are people invest in because there's so much, you know, crafting and attention and detail that goes into them. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be that way at Ubisoft for a lot of their games, but it just turned into them pushing games as a commodity and not as an experience and not as art. And that's where the trade-off happens. So it could be some dangerous waters ahead for them. Very dangerous.
Yeah, it's I want one day for me to be excited about them releasing a project, but a lot of the times it's like, oh, I can't wait for this shit to go on sale so I can kind of enjoy this, you know. Like, it's just, if when you guys say things like we're gonna not focusing on innovation, it just doesn't, is not surprising. I feel like this conversation wasn't even had in this year. I feel like it was had in like 2018 maybe, or 2017, when they were like, yeah, we're not focusing on innovation. But it's really kind of seeing you guys miss the mark heavily, and hey, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Moving into the trailer trove here, we had one main story come out from this past week. Ahead of the full release, the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action remake has been hit with some flack as they have reworked something, specifically a something in Sokka, aka again some of the sexist performances and sexist character traits that Sokka displayed in the animated series, in the original series. They basically removed that. That is no longer existing. That's not a thing. Some of the characters talked about it recently over the past week, just to say they rolled it back. I believe it came from a Variety article, a Variety interview. They said they basically took out that element of how sexist Sokka was. They felt like there was a lot of moments in the original show that were kind of iffy. They just wanted to kind of play a little bit differently and kind of avoid that. And a lot of people took some difference to this. They were like, I don't know if that's the best move to remove the sexism just for the character and the arc. But Wen, how did you feel about that kind of that difference, that shift?
It goes to show you the people who are in control of this franchise, and if you're somebody who's like, that doesn't make sense, that was part of Sokka's like personality, you are correct. And unfortunately, they don't see that, but they are still somehow the people in charge. And hey, have fun with that show. I don't plan on watching it. I didn't plan on watching it when the dude lied about being native and it's just a white guy. And they kept him there. Like, after he lied, they just said that's fine. Like, once I saw that, I was like, yeah, this shit is pretty cooked if you ask me. But hey, to each their own. I do think that is it. Like, it's annoying because it's a conversation they could have had. They're like, yo, should we change the way Sokka is portrayed? Like, should we make him less sexist? Because that's a valid conversation to have if you're creating this game. I mean, like, this game, if you're creating the show. But that's when somebody could have been like, no, the reason we should keep it is because he's no longer a sexist at the end of the show, right? At the end of the journey, he becomes a better person. And that's what a lot of the show is about, is growing and learning. Like, that is like one of the biggest, that's the whole point of the show, is really growing and learning. So for it to be like, nah, let's take away one of his biggest growth arcs, it's like, well, what does Sokka do then? Is he just like a good guy throughout the whole thing? He's just an awesome dude? Because he was annoying as fuck in the beginning. He didn't want to be a part of Team Avatar. He didn't want to do any of this shit. Like, he just went because Katara went. So he's like, I gotta go protect my sister. That's it. That's all that happened. Like, is he just gonna go? Like, it just doesn't make any sense now. He's just gonna be a dick, right? He's not gonna be sexist. He's just going to be a dick. And I guess be less of a dick later. I don't know. Like, I don't know why they made this decision. It's pretty dumb. And I also think that it's really interesting because like it also made him deeper of a character to have this bad trait. Because when you think about the life that Sokka is living now, all the men in the village left. He is the only man left in the village, and he was told to guard the village. He probably uses his sexism and like his misogyny to hide the fact that motherfucker is scared. Like there's a lot of emotions going on there, and like he uses those negative traits to hide those emotions. Like that's why he's always like, no, I'm the man, I'm da 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 da. Because at the end of the day, he's still hurt by the fact that his father left him when he went out to war. So he's always got to be this fucking macho, this strong, this like you're not as strong as me, da 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 da. Because he's trying to convince himself. It's quite sad. Like he's not just a sexist asshole. He's a hurt child. And he's also like, what, Aang is 12? He's like, what, maybe 14, 13?
Yep.
You don't know any sexist 14-year-olds? When I was 14, I said some dumbass shit to this day that I regret. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about how this could have been taken. I was just an emotional, like rebellious kid, you know? Like shit is all, I remember in high school, my professor was like, we were doing it was like Women's History Month or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I don't want to, I didn't want to do a paper on fucking anybody because it was like a sophomore class. Like the class was just learning how to be a sophomore, kind of bullshit. Like it was just random like filler class. And they wanted me to write a paper. And I was like, I don't want to write a paper about this woman. And then that I didn't realize that was sexist because I was saying like my teacher was like, you don't want to write a paper about women. And I was like, no, I just don't really want to write a paper. But I didn't communicate that correctly because I didn't know. I was young. I was just saying shit. I was just emotional. And it's shit like that is a really good growing moment for the kids, for everybody. Like you need to have these moments because these people aren't fucking perfect. And I don't know how you guys are gonna make up for this kind of character growth. I don't know what you're gonna add to change that shit, but go crazy, I guess. It kind of feels like the people who are in charge of this show wanted to make this show not because of what it did, but because of how it did, you know?
Yeah. It's just wild how we tend to skirt around certain things when I think it could be a valuable lesson for a lot of people today, you know? I think this would be a very poignant thing for a lot of young people who are watching the show as well to kind of see it in real time. It's wild how a lot of programming, you know what I'm saying, today just wants to skirt around. Just you want to get, you know what I'm saying, the nostalgia and the power and all stuff behind it. But these people running the show, they know, oh man, some people might take this the wrong way. They might cancel us. Let's remove this part that was core to somebody's story in this. Let's remove some of the true elements of the story. You know what I mean? Like I get if there's certain things that are egregious in a story, like again, like something that's like again unnecessary, like a rape thing or whatever, like the boys. There's a lot of unnecessary shit in the boys that was taken out and remixed in the TV show that did way better. That did it way better. That's an appropriate use of remixing certain things to fit, you know, what makes sense and what's best for today. But if there was something that's within reason, like Sokka's story and his actual character, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't just again a side thing of him just being an asshole. This was a whole arc to where all the women in his life, he ended up realizing that they are very strong, capable, stronger. All the women in his life were dead ass stronger than him. They were better than him. Again, Suki was better than him. The moon girl from the Water Kingdom, she's the fucking moon. You know what I mean? Like she's the moon. What's it called? Katara, of course, waterbender. You know what I mean? Like all the women that he's ran into have either beat his ass or shown him that again, women are more than capable and strong of taking on the fucking world. Like so, that's the learning lesson in and of itself. And you can't show that arc. I think you take away something valuable from his story. You're just having him there to be a babbler. You know what I'm saying? And outside of that, it's crazy. To me, I don't particularly like that. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that's integral to somebody's character that's within reason for the modern day, that could be a valuable lesson on top of that for a lot of people watching, a lot of little dudes watching who probably share some of the same sentiments or some of the same mannerisms. That will be cool to show them what it's like, you know, to go through that and actually mature and realize that, you know, all human beings, you know what I'm saying, across the board, we're capable people, and having that sexist mindset, it isn't on. So taking it away, and to me, I think that's an L, bro. That's an L. I didn't like how they did that. But also at the same time, they also reported that they're gonna show the the Air Nomad Massacre. They're gonna show that. They're gonna show that on the screen. So I'm like, so you chose to remove something that was pretty integral to the story to something that nobody even needed to see or saw in the original show. Okay. what was the point in that? What was your decision making in that? Just because it had some action and had people dying, mindless violence? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it just shows a lack of care for the IP, and it just shows a lack of purpose that they wanted to put in this. They wanted to put it there for the Flash. They wanted to keep things safe and you know what I'm saying, replace it with some things that maybe look a little more flashy but have no substance attached to them. And that's annoying. To me, that's annoying. So that's an L. Do I still want to watch and peep it in? Yes. Just to have an inquiring mind as to what's so different about this version. Does it actually stand up to any type of quality that the anime series did? Probably won't, but I'm curious. But this is not a good sign.
Yeah, this is oh man, you guys have fun with this show. I'll watch the TikTok reviews.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with it. And last but certainly not least, we had to cover it. It is time to talk about the PlayStation State of Play for January 2024. We had a few games pop. We're going to run through them, give our grade of the show, what we saw, what we thought about it. First and foremost, we had Stellar Blade dropping April 26th. A lot of horny people on the timeline for this game, and it's just all over the place, it seems. But how'd you feel about Stellar Blade and the new gameplay that we saw?
That shit reminded me of Nier, and Nier is gas. So as of right now, this game looks pretty gas. So we're gonna lock in with Stellar Blade will be pretty gas. I feel like it'll also not be. It won't be what Embracer's looking for, you know. But I think it's gonna be something that a lot of people are gonna enjoy. They're gonna talk about. They're gonna put people on. A couple people are gonna go back after a couple months, maybe a year or two, and they're like, "Oh, Stellar Blade, I haven't tapped it. Whoa, this is kind of heat." Like I didn't play Nier until way after it was out, and I remember I bought it for my girlfriend because she loves anime, and I was like, oh, maybe you'd like this game. And I played a little bit of it, and like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was pretty hooked. I would go to her house and play it on her PlayStation because she owned the game while she'd be like on her computer, and I'd be like I'd just be like smacked. I'm like, man, this is a really good game. And to this day, I'm waiting for the right time to go back and start this franchise, because I know that I have to, when I start it the next time, when I restart it, I have to beat it all the way through.
Type shit. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, for what I saw Stellar Blade, like, it looked pretty cool. Again, I don't know if it was like campsite or a base building element. I think it was just campsite where she's just like, I'm about to say the character just sitting there chilling, you know what I'm saying, regaining health. I like the different little quirks there. I think the art style actually is really cool. It's not to the scale of something like Nier, but some of that combat flow is there. Maybe it looks a little bit slower. Maybe a little bit, the movement isn't as fluid as Nier, at least from my eye. But so far, a lot of it looks really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Again, the art style, the character models look great. I think the boss fights towards the end that we're showing it, those look really, really cool. I liked a lot of what I saw of just the pop behind it. I think there's gonna be some really just hard-hitting, flashy gameplay that's on it, and I'm kind of keeping an eye out for this one, man. And for the horny people, I guess y'all got y'all service, I guess, in this game, because they was revealing some stuff. I'm like, hey, yo, what's good with y'all? What's happening, bro? Have it on my screen so I can walk in. But overall, no, not bad. April 26th, this could be a solid joint.
No, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Moving on, we had Sonic X Shadow Generations. So again, the Sonic Generation stuff that's coming through. It's like a whole remake and stuff like that. But they're adding brand new story campaign for Shadow the Hedgehog. Just a lot of it's just a whole remastered version of Sonic Generations, basically. So what'd you make of that?
The above 30 crowd is going stupid.
Yo, that's hilarious you say that, because I saw Kendall's reaction. Shout out to Ken Knows. That boy was tweaking.
I saw it and I was like, sure.
Yo,
kind of cool.
Kendall was losing his mind. I bet he was bad. I'm gonna link you it, bro. But he was battling for like a good 30 seconds. He just looked. This shit was so funny. It was so funny, bro.
But like, Sonic is important. Sonic is cool. I love this for Sega. Hopefully, you know, it goes stupid. W Sega.
Yep. We had a quick look at Zenless Zone Zero, which was something that was of note in there. It said just now in development for PS5, I guess. Look, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the fuck this exactly is, but I don't know how you felt about it.
I'm kind of good off different Genshin. That's cool. Cool that they have it, you know. Awesome that it's in development. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of this shit was in development, and I really was like, I'd get to the end of a trailer and it said in development, and then it kind of just like, it feels like filling out every right answer on a test and then not signing your name at the end, and then being like, I can't accept this test, this answer because it doesn't fucking matter. I don't even know. Like it doesn't matter. All this shit could be different within a couple years. So, cool that it's in development. Did not move the needle to me.
Yeah, I need to see more from them. I need to see more. Simple as. Next up, we had a Dave the Diver NX Godzilla collab. So Dave the Diver and Godzilla are just, I don't know if they're teaming up or they're facing off. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know if Dave is standing in for again the Monkey King. What my man name is?
Wukong?
No, not Wukong. Damn it, not Wukong.
You said Monkey King.
No, well, he is the king of the monkeys, man. Kong, damn it. King Kong, damn it. He is the king of the monkeys in his universe. Well, shit. But nah, they got a collab coming. That's just a whole. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool, man. I ain't gonna lie, but that's dropping in May. How'd you feel about that?
I like Dave the Diver. The needle was moved somewhat. Definitely something that I would look into.
Word. Next up, we had 2 reveals from Silent Hill. One, there was a short message, a short game, a quick play. It's actually out now. It was out as of the PlayStation again, just reveal. I haven't tried it yet, but I do kind of. It looked kind of PT-ish in nature. But we'll see what's up with it. And then we had a new gameplay reveal for Silent Hill 2 remake. Just how that is shaping up. How'd you make those?
It looked somewhat clunky, but it is an old ass fucking game, so like that's kind of expected. Like I don't know why when I was looking at it, I was like expecting the fluidity of like a Resident Evil 2 remake. This is Konami. This is not Capcom. Capcom has been in the business of making video games. Konami hasn't made a video game since like Metal Gear Solid 5. So I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be good. Well, I think it's going to be Silent Hills. I think it's gonna be remastered. I think it's gonna look better. Interested, but it's in development. I feel like we've been talking about this game for like 4 years now, and it's still in development. So very little needle movement from this group.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if they're gonna make the significant changes to like again like the story outlay, or I know how they're gonna replicate some of those things.
Yeah.
And one thing to note, I like my fog. How I like my women thick. So it was nice to see some of that going through the trailer. So that's fair. Well, we just gotta keep an eye on it, man. Just drop a release date or something, or some extended gameplay, so we know what we're expecting. But that was fair. Next up, we had the gameplay reveal of something we saw from last year, Judas, which is the brand new game from Ken Levine and his team. Of course, they're behind the BioShock series. Had a lot of, again, just gameplay, a lot of stuff that came from there. Just a wild, crazy ass animatronics, mechanics, whatever you want to call it. The first person gameplay that we all know and love in a different packaging, man. How'd you feel about the look of Judas?
Looked really fucking good. Again, in development.
I know.
Needle was somewhat moved, but it looked really good. The story, like the setup, is really, really good. It did make me want to go back and play BioShock. So I think it was a good showing, but definitely. Next time I see this game, I want to see a release date. Like that's I need to see the release date. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. I need to see the release date. I don't want to see no gameplay trailer. And then we're still working on it. Like, no. Do not show me this again until it is ready to ship, because it looked phenomenal. But the more trailers you drop, the more that luster, that shine is going to be like, whatever.
I agree. After that, the next big thing was a Rise of the Ronin gameplay overview. We're showing off a lot of the world in Yokohama, just some of the things you can get into, the environments, the grapple points, the traversal system. Overall was really, really cool. The combat as well, the variety in enemies, a lot of different stuff. Gave us a quick glimpse of what we're going to get into with Rise of the Ronin dropping in March. How'd you feel about that gameplay?
It looked pretty solid. Like I really couldn't complain too much. It looked okay, but it definitely wasn't for me, is what I kind of felt. Like I was just like, this is cool, but is it weird that it felt Dark Souls-y?
Yes, like, yeah, and a little bit of the nature it did, but the best way I can put it is there's a mix between, again, to me it's a baby of kind of Ghost of Tsushima, which already is in and of itself has a little bit of like Dark Souls-ish stuff in it with like kind of the crowd combat and stuff like that, and it hits a little bit, but that and Dark Souls You know what I'm saying? But the tech and the technology and the tools you can use are up to like 1,000, and the impact of them are up to 1,000. Yeah. And I think the movement's up to like 1,000 as well. I liked the environments that you were in. I feel like the battle scenes felt pretty lively. I think there was a boss fight with like a guy with a huge ass sword or whatever, and it was like in the middle of like a field of snow or whatever, and there was like fights going all around. There was cannons going off in the battle scene. There was some really, really cool stuff going on. And on top of that, the tools that you could use, like you had flamethrowers, you had a bunch of different swords, the long staff. There's a lot of different variety in there as well, with that with that gameplay outside of like the actual stances. So I'm curious to see how deep the well goes on the tools you can use. But that's what stood out to me. But this looks pretty solid so far. Again, I'm gonna give it a try. I know I'm gonna give it a try for sure, because you already know what I am. I'm a whore for this kind of lore. You know what I mean? So it's the business, man. It's what it is.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a pretty solid game. I may just need to look into it a smidge more, but we'll see. Yeah. Gonna drop on March 22nd, so keep an eye on it. Had news of an Until Dawn just remaster for PS5 and current gen, which was there. And then we got to the granddaddy of them all, Mr. Kojima's game, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, a full 10-minute gameplay breakdown. When do I even have to ask the question? Just break this down, man. The needle has been moved, Tripp. The needle has been moved. We cannot find it. It is in a very far away location. We are currently still looking for it. This looked absolutely phenomenal. This is what I wanted at the Game Awards. And I'm high-key happy he didn't do it at the Game Awards, because I don't think we would. 10 minutes of Death Stranding would have been a little too much after 20 minutes of Kojima slobber from Jordan Peele. I think this game looks like it's going to be exactly what I wanted from Death Stranding. Mind you, I don't know what I wanted from Death Stranding 2, but it looks exactly like what I wanted from Death Stranding 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. I see there was a lot that was going on in this trailer. And if you haven't played the game, you're probably like, all this shit is wild as hell. If you have played the game, you're probably like, all this shit is wild as hell, because there's so much has changed. It's not even funny. Sam being back, I didn't think Sam was gonna be the focus of the next game, to be honest with you. I thought it was gonna be Fragile, who was the girl with the glove mask hands, which was really sick. Again, this man be thinking of the wildest shit and making it hella cool. I would love to have some gloves that just randomly do shit on my shoulders. That shit was cool. The puppet, dope. The design for the new character, so that's Higgs. He's from the first game. Comes back somehow. He's got fucking a guitar that shoots lightning and is an axe at the same time. I believe in the first game, Lou, the baby that was in the first game. Yeah. At the end of that game, spoiler alert. If you did not play Death Stranding 1, this is a bit of a spoiler.
Skip for 5 seconds if you missed it.
Skip for a second. And even if it is, it's not the biggest. To me, it's not the biggest spoiler, because everything else in that game there's so much to that game. I could spoil like the ending, and there'd still be so much you should like witness for yourself. But Lou isn't in the thing anymore, and you see it in the trailer. Like, it's empty. Like, there's a part where it's empty, but you see bubbles. I don't know what happened to the fucking baby. Which is a statement said by awful people, but I don't know what has happened to the baby since then. And it's weird, because like then the robot dude started fighting a samurai that laughed like my baby, and it's like, you don't even know anything about the baby. And I'm like, man, this is fucking absurd. What's going on? Also, when they were on the ship, they were in grayscale. The only other time I can think about why they were in grayscale is when you die in the game. Sam is a repatriate, so he comes back to life, but he has to find his body on the beach, which is like kind of like a space in like the afterlife, but not all the way in the afterlife. So like when you find your body, that little baby thing where like you used to go down the throat and you see the baby, that's him coming back to life essentially. Yeah. Ew. And that's the screen that happens. So like it's weird. It's like you find when you die, you're like your soul, you travel to your body, you go into your throat, and then you see the baby, and then you come back to life. It's a very interesting way, but like during that moment when you're finding your body, everybody's in grayscale. So it didn't really fucking make sense to me why they were in grayscale when they're on a ship in the real world. Unless we are now traveling in between the world of the living and the world of the dead at the same time, maybe through this ship, maybe not through this ship. Maybe they're both repatriates, so they could both go into that world So maybe they're just there. And then they also said like these rooms are for the crew. They all look the same as yours. Is the crew other players? There's a lot to unpack in this fucking trailer. I'm gonna have to do a whole video on it because there's too much to unpack in this trailer. But all in all, graphics amazing. We get natural disasters, which really does change the game because now when you're delivering shit, like I could die to a landslide. That's something I didn't even consider. Like the bridge I built to get over here got destroyed in a flood. Now shit is different. Now I gotta find a different way around. Like it's definitely going to be an amazing experience. 2025 was not the year I wanted to see on this game, but I can wait. 2025 is already a stacked year just with GTA. With Death Stranding, I don't think I'm gonna be playing like any multiplayer games.
Bro, the biggest thing I got from that is like a lot of people in this game with some throat ghosts, and that's insane to me. But deadass, I'm speaking seriously. This game looks ridiculous. The environments that you were running through, again, you was in like sands, you was in rocky areas, mountains, like everything just looks so crisp. Yeah, like again, we in Mexico, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm going straight to the Topo Chico factory because this shit hard. You know what I'm saying? This shit fire. But absolutely like just wild. Again, they're using like the different I guess it's like AI, I guess who are now porters now or deliverers now. I don't even know. There's
robots.
There's a lot of stuff that is just like so utterly confusing, but so utterly like interesting about this game, bro. Again, the whole ending sequence with the dude with the guitar, I think Higgs, as you said, and then the dude with the sword just going at it. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, bro? It's so much to unpack from somebody who hasn't been a Death Stranding fan, but I can echo the sentiment that a lot of people felt that was this showing of Death Stranding looks at the eye way more interesting than what we saw at first, or maybe more, I guess, just alluring at that first glance. You know what I mean? Because the first part we're like, okay, we're just seeing like things like that. We didn't understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this game will give a lot more people some moments to be like, yo, you know what? Maybe we should try this fucking game. You know, maybe we should like try to get in there. So from what I saw from Death Stranding 2, I was impressed of this, and I'm like, damn, I might need to put on the delivery suit, man. I might need to get to move some packs. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a really good game. I don't think it should be the game that people start with, but I think that if there's a time to play Death Stranding 1, I think now is the time. It's a good game if you're like trying to just blow through it just to understand the story. You can always throw it on easy mode. We love it. We love a good amount of accessibility, but like I think once people get past the hurdle of like, and I think and this is in and of itself, my own gripes with people who talked about the game was just like a lot of people they saw the value in making a joke of it than the value in talking about it. So like a lot of people were just like UPS packages, and like when you boil it down, yes, that is exactly like when you boil it down to a very basic degree. Yeah, sure, it is. You're delivering packages, but like that's like me going and being like, why the fuck would I want to play Lethal Company? It's just grabbing shit and selling shit.
Yeah.
Like all I'm doing is walking around and grabbing. It's like, why are you doing it? Oh, because there are other aspects of the game that make it fun, that make it entertaining, like XYZ. But when you boil it down to like what people see on the outside, sure, dismiss it. And honestly, I didn't really care about people dismissing it, because one thing about Kojima will always make games. I feel like the brand is too strong to be for one game that has mixed reviews to really like destroy it. So I was just like, yo, if y'all don't want to play it, that's fine. But then I see a bunch of people talking on the timeline like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Whoa, what the fuck is going on? This is cool, da 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 da. And then it's like, oh, y'all didn't want to deliver packages, so
you wasn't only shooting in the gym.
Like you wasn't out here holding on those backpack straps, climbing mountains to deliver fucking pizza under an hour. Like y'all don't know about this shit. But I'm gonna let y'all rock, because at the end of the day, like the progressive success. Like I'm sure Death Stranding 2 will sell more than Death Stranding 1, because the people who played 1 are like, oh, this is gas. And then when everybody who from 1 goes to 2, and they're all like, damn, this shit was heat. And now everybody's like, oh, I don't want to miss out. I'm gonna go back. Oh wow, this shit is gas. That Embracer could never. Like I'm telling you guys, it's all about progression. It's all about progression, and this is going to be a great sequel.
Bro, I might have to lock in, man. I might have to go get my certification, man. Just
And the issue I have is that a lot of people will say, like, last point on the people who talk shit about this game.
Because I was there.
Is that the game was free on Epic. It is on Game Pass. Yeah. It is free on PlayStation Plus. There's so many opportunities for you to play this game for is free.
Yeah.
And that's just like, if you didn't want to tap in, you didn't want to tap in. Like, that's really what it is. Like, there's just too many opportunities for you. That's like me saying I haven't beaten Control, like the game with the red girl with the red hair, is just because I haven't beat it. But I promise you, I have that shit on Epic for free. I got it on Game Pass. Like, I made the decision not to play it yet, and I have it downloaded. I'm going to play it. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have the option. Y'all got the power. Y'all just would rather make these whack ass jokes that get y'all 3 likes on a tweet, and then go back to playing Call of Duty or go back to playing whatever, or playing Valorant and spending $300 on a knife. Like, y'all got it. Y'all got it. I don't care, because I'm gonna have fun.
Hey man, that's real. I think I have it on Game Pass. No, not Game Pass. I mean, I think I have it on Epic. But yeah, man, shit, it's serious. It's serious out there. But for the Game Awards, that was not it. That was not all we had to talk about, because there was one more tidbit of news that came from the Kojima camp. It is that he's going back. He's going back. It is time. They've announced that Kojima is going back to the action espionage genre of games, and he's building a brand new IP in that lane that, again, he came up in through the Metal Gear series. He's making something new. It's currently titled Physint or Physint, whatever you want to pronounce it as, but it's going to be a brand new, again, groundbreaking action espionage game. It's going to apparently tie a lot of, again, movie and game elements. Going to be an interactive experience, but they're going to really up it and raise the levels of how much immersion you get into it. That's all we got so far in terms of details from Kojima, but he's in heavy partnership with PlayStation Studios to make something new. How'd you feel about this news?
The only negative thing I can say about Kojima is that with every physical announcements, with every showcasing of Death Stranding, I get 2 more games that are being announced that are made by this production company, and I'm just like, okay, like I love the shit that he announced at the Game Awards. That's like, how many games are we up to that he's like? Was that the Xbox game? I'm assuming, like, at this point.
Yes. Holy shit, like, you're right.
And like, because he also did it at Xbox. This turned like, I'm making a game for y'all.
This turned in like 4.
It's so many games, Kojima. There's only one of you. Please, bro. I need to see if Death Stranding is gonna be fucking a trilogy. I need that 3rd game, Kojima, please, before I'm 45. Like, I need you to finish this. But it does look cool. Again, he didn't show us anything. He just said, I'm working on games, which is like a firefighter clocking in and then being like, hey guys, I want to make an announcement. I'm gonna be fighting some fires. Like, yes, we know, bro, we know. And I'm excited that it's an espionage game. Like, I hope it is more unhinged than Death Stranding. I hope I get like Metal Gear Stranding. I need it to be like nuts, because when you think about it, like, Death Stranding is the first game he was able to make with nobody telling him no.
Yep.
And I think that shit is amazing. Like, I think it's so fucking wild. It is such a cool trip, because you're just like, damn, all of this shit is happening. Like, there's just so much to take in right now. So I can't imagine what an action espionage game is gonna look like from them when then nobody can tell him no. Mind you, fucking Metal Gear had fucking flying kids with psychic abilities shooting nukes at you. Like, one dude literally had electric powers, and there were people telling him, dial it back. Imagine when nobody's there. This shit's gonna be heat. I can't wait. I mean, everything Kojima does, I have no complaints on. Like, go crazy, man. This is gonna be dope.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm not gonna lie. Him having, again, his own license to create something in this space. All I know is Konami must be fucking pissed. Konami must be pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. They're like, yo, why the fuck is he back? Why is he back? Why? He couldn't just stick to the delivery stuff like he did before. Why he came back now? Why he doing our shit? Nah. Like, it's up, man. But I think this is serious. I think he wouldn't just he's not going to do anything. He's not going to do just anything. Again, this is one of the guys that's like independently, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. When he feels the vision behind it, he's going to push. And again, this, I feel like how he described it could be the perfect segue that PlayStation loves. They want to have that IP that encapsulates everything, whether it be movies, TV, gaming, all that. They want to have a transcendent experience across mediums. That's their goal. That's what they've been trying for years now with the Uncharted series, what they're going to do with God of War, what they've been doing with The Last of Us. They want their IPs to transcend. And what Fizzint is looking to do, I think Kojima was kind of talking the language of Sony, and that's why they've invested in him so heavily with this. So I can't wait to see what it is. The cast probably gonna be crazy. We're gonna have The Rock, Vin Diesel, Timothée Chalamet, Tyrese. We're gonna have a crazy cast and shit. It's good. It's gonna go wild. But honestly, I'm excited to see what comes of Fizzint in the years to come. Definitely gonna be some. This shit gonna be PS6 or 7 though. That's all I know.
You know what I need my man to do?
What?
I need my man to go find Oscar Isaac and make him the main character of this game.
Just,
he was supposed
just
to
for
be,
the ad life, for the snake ad life, yeah.
He was supposed to be Solid Snake in the movie, and I don't know if the movie's even still happening, but hey,
that'd be hilarious.
Oscar
Poach.
Isaac as the protagonist. We get Kiefer Sutherland, who voiced Venom Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5, and you get David Hayter back on the front. Actually, I don't know if David Hayter would, because like he did kind of get shafted on Metal Gear Solid 5. Like Kojima did say like, I'm gonna go with Kiefer Sutherland, but if he got David Hayter, hey, I'm just saying you could unite the snakes. You know what I'm saying? We could go crazy with the snakes.
Call the whole organization Medusa on top of their head.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and he's got, it's funny because in Death Stranding 2, I think he said that like the director from like Mad Max, they body captured him.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
man,
Miller. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like it's crazy smart to me when you think about it. Like him doing this thing where like he just gets the people and be like, hey, I just want to use your model as like a person. Like not I'm gonna AI generate you into some shit. It's really just like, hey, I just want to put you in a game, and you don't even gotta be in it. Yeah, like you could just, I just want you as a person in it. I don't really need your voice. Like you don't have to do anything but just come up, show up, get your picture taken 1,000,000 times. Like, bro, that's so smart.
And then like, and have it sound to be like, so what are you doing? So what's the game? Yeah. And then they're like, oh yeah, cool. And then next thing you know, Jordan Peele's on stage with your ass, and then you wonder what the hell happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, I just can't wait. I could go on for hours about all the things that this man is doing. And this shit's gonna be so I need to go, actually, never mind. I was gonna say, I need to go re-download Death Stranding, but I never deleted it. Like, it's always been on my computer. As soon as I got the computer, that's the first thing I downloaded. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap back into some Death Stranding. We might have to throw that shit on the stream or something, because I need to play this shit again now. Because I don't think people understand. I will be your if you don't want to play the game, I will be your vehicle to play the game. I will beat it on stream, and y'all can just watch the videos. And if after somebody playing it for you isn't enough, then hey, mind your business, Kang. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Just don't worry about it. When we get fucking electric guitars that we were fucking shooting electricity out of and fighting with an axe, like, bro, y'all got it, man. Have fun. Play whatever the fuck y'all want.
Hey, listen, man. The Kojima Sapiens are up 1, man. They're up 10. They might be up 10. Oh man, I'm dead. All right, that's all the notes I have for this episode. Anything that we might have missed? Anything that we didn't cover that you want to get into?
Nah, man, this is a good ass fucking day for gaming, man. It is gonna be. I'm happy. I don't think there's anything that we missed. Yeah, no, this is just gonna be such a good. Foam stars. Are we gonna...
Big foamers. Big foamers. Yeah, baby.
Actually, the one game that I think had a really good showing, but it's gonna be very niche, but I think it's a really good game that people should keep an eye out for. Helldivers 2.
Yes, of course. It opened up the show. I tell you, every time. I completely forgot about that. That's my fault. That's my bad. Yeah, I agree. Every time it shows up, it looks good.
It's
don't
not
sleep.
Like, yeah, it's not like, hey, this is gonna be fucking Skyrim levels, but it's gonna be fun. That shit looks like stupid fun, and I'm very conflicted because like a game that I love is like Earth Defense Force, which has a game coming out in the spring, is what they said. And that game looks like a bunch of stupid just shooting monster fun. And now I have to decide between which games I want to buy that are shooting monster fun. But Helldivers being on PC, like, I don't know. If they throw it on like the PlayStation Plus, I may play it on PlayStation just to get a feel for it. But if that game looks as fun as I think it is gonna be, it's gonna be a lot of stupid fun. And I might have to tap in because it's just gonna be like co-op homies just shooting monsters, putting down like giant bases. It looks great. It looks great.
No, definitely, son. Honestly, yeah, that's pretty much whatever was covered. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to roll, man. Closing notes, man. Give it to us.
Play Death Stranding. Play Death Stranding the director's cut. And then go back and play Death Stranding the director's cut again because I know you don't understand what's going on. And then go watch a YouTube video because we still don't know what's going on. We still don't know what's going on.
I'm dead.
Drink your water. And you know, just it's gonna be a really, really good year for gaming in 2025. But we also have a lot of good games coming out this year too. So keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, man. Hey, don't sleep on gaming, man. It's doing some good stuff this year so far. It's starting out hot. Again, huge shout out to Surgeon Studios and stuff for all the love and all the contact on again Tales of Kenzera out. Apparently, I think the demo's out now as of this recording, so you might want to go. So we're gonna hurry up and get this, get our section up on socials and everything like that for y'all to see the insight and stuff. But listen, shouts to them, shouts to Abu Salim. Again, much love to them, much love to y'all for listening in. Thank you so much for all the love and support, man. We see the YouTube numbers going up. We see, the audio numbers going up. We appreciate all y'all for the love, man. Please keep it up, keep rolling, rate us 5 stars and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of stuff coming. You do not want to miss it, man. This is just the beginning. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And with that being said, this has been No Cooldown Podcast, and we are out of here. Peace.